o'clock somewhere, right? Oh, it's 11 o'clock here. Nice. Nice. Alright, greetings and salutations, everyone. It's time once again for a video stream on Sarlona. I was trying to put brain thoughts in order stuff. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. Having a pretty good one, all things considered. Alright, let's empty this backpack, shall we? You can definitely tell the difference between Sarlona and elsewhere, because elsewhere I care about making sure I maximize the value from all of my gear and miscellaneous things that I can sell from. Here, I don't care. Just sell it. Just get out of here. Alright, so in the face of honesty and transparency, I played a little bit last night, not gonna lie. We basically did Three Barrel Cove and one or two other doodads here and there. We're level 8. I think we're level 6 or 7. I don't think we got millions of levels or anything. We just a little bit. And yeah, we kind of look like this now. Not major changes. I redid the ASMR tree slightly. To take out like the Divine Purpose and these extra spell points to get some extra to hit and damage against Evil. Basically, I wanted to pick up this Charisma point, and that's was the like side effect, I guess. I don't know. I apologize. It is a rainy Monday here in Kansas, which means my nose is going to go off like mad all day. But I can't control the weather, and it's supposed to be like this basically all week. So it'll be nice to get off the heat, and it'll also be kind of cray-cray to have a week where we're just making snot non-stop here. All right, major parts of this that's coming together. We do have Eldritch Burst 1, which is not nearly as much damage as you would like it to be. Mostly because it's only 3 levels of Warlock, which if we look at the Warlock leveling up process here on the wiki, if I can get the wiki to come up in a semi-timely manner. Classes, Warlock. So if we compare it to an 8th level Warlock pack, it should be 3d6. However, since we're still only 3 levels of Warlock, it's only 1d6. Next level it'll go up to 2d6. So yeah, I think it'll feel much better next level. Something else we want to do before we get too deep in the weeds. I guess I need to answer Grim. Sorry. Grim was asking how the hardcore server is going. And the answer is, it's going great, actually. Real nice. Real nice. We actually clicked this. Oh no. Yeah, we did. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Nice, that's not bad. Okay, so before we get too deep into the weeds, we need to switch out a bard spell. And I think... excuse me. What we're gonna... wow. I have planned at some point to take... turn this back off. Actually, let's look at this together. So there's a warlock. Let's get a bard up. Why can I? There it is. So if we could pick up our second bard song right now, we would probably hold off on taking another picking up a healing spell. We were trying to rely on our Lay on Hands to kind of pick that up, but I'm actually spending more time in Feypack right now and just kind of switching over to Lay on Hands as like a top-off mechanic. So I would like to have some sort of healing spell. Excuse me. Some sort of healing spell while we're getting started here. Can't do it for another 3 hours. Ugh! Okay. So never mind. I guess we can't switch that spell yet. Oh man, sorry. Trying to have multiple conversations is not... like, it's easy to do over voice, but for me to stop and type and whatnot is a real pain. Alright, so level 8, we could do 5s, but I think for the most part we had the 5s that we actually want to get done. Like there's a couple of them that would be okay to do, like the Snitch would be fine. The Depths Chain. I guess we're here. We could run through the Depths Chain really fast, even if there's a penalty for knocking out the first ones. Yeah, why not? We might get a rank and a half or something out of the deal. It costs us nothing, right? I got a little bit of work done on the bus this weekend. For those of you who are like, yay! Don't get too too excited. Nothing was the end of the world. It was pretty hot. 4 minutes, I guess we'll summon you. Alright, so this is basically how the build has been going. If you're kind of just curious, it's very much like that. Just pounding right through everything. We need to take our next level as a warlock level for a couple of reasons. One, I forgot about this. One, we need the we need to be level 4 warlock to be able to take the tier 4 enhancements, which are important. Also, we could use the DPS from our aura to like fire up another notch, which is also important. But mostly, to be really honest, we don't need the bard levels to increase right now, and we would like to get some extra healing in, because again, we're mostly in Feypack right this minute. And we're mostly in Feypack because we built the whole build around getting this extra damage. So that's what we need to be getting. Also at level 8, we're able to get our Nightforged Stiletto on, which you may be noticing some pretty large crit numbers. So we're critting on, I believe, a 16 to 20, and that is times 3. Plus we have the booties that give us +5 Seeker. We are still strength to hit, but we are charisma to damage. So we are, instead of +7 to hit and damage, we're +7 to hit and +13 to damage, which is a pretty significant number increase, especially when you're talking about crit multipliers and stuff like that. Come here. There we go. There's the hireling. Look at that Archon hit us. Even with our 30 ship resist on, that Archon still hit us for 10 points of damage apiece. That's quite a bit. Oh, and then of course also depending on which of these were blow by blow or on point. I think it's supposed to be on guard. Increases or decreases our multiplier. So this one increases the attack rate. Oh, gross. It's like this is one of those situations where I could switch over to the thing, hit a lay on hands, switch back over. That's kind of how I've been using it, as like a slow heal. Not necessarily ideal. I realize. Oh, that's not the button I wanted to push. I realized, but it's kind of just where we're at. We don't have the base attack bonus yet to take extended critical, but when we will here soon, hopefully, we're planning on taking it pretty much right away. I do still have the Pirate's Dagger. It's close. It is very close to the crit profile, but I think there's a couple things that are just a little bit different about it. Crit for 153 there. That's pretty good. That is towards the top end that I've seen so far. We're not getting that much experience here. Because we're losing the 10%. Doesn't really tell you if you're losing 10% on the Reaper experience or not, though, which I really find aggravating. I like all that stuff to just tell me everything. I want to know. The other big news kind of going on for me, we are in the ending phase of a 36-hour fast. So some of you know that what? Oh, here we go. Some of you know that it's something I've been experimenting with this month. Is doing starting Saturday evening and going into Monday, doing a little fasting, see what it's like, see if the hype lives up to the hype. And I will tell you that I do think it's really helping reset motivate the week to stay on the weight loss goals, stuff like that. But this week I'm hungry. I've not had that happen. I don't know if it's because I spent so much extra energy mowing. I mowed yesterday. I don't know if it's I didn't prepare my body in the same way that I normally do, although it's not like I was off keto. So that's like the main part. So I don't know, not sure what it is, but I am very hungry this week. So getting to 2 o'clock is going to be vital today to get to our 36 hours. People are like, wait, Sam, 36 hours, does that mean that you ate something at 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday? Yes, that's correct. Or Sunday morning, I guess. Sunday morning. Yes. So I knew I was about to start this. It is. Trying to do this kind of stuff is weird. Let's see, what else happened over the weekend that might be entertaining for people? The wife and I made some preliminary decisions on the bus, specifically on some test runs. We're going to... She's putting in some vacation time for, I think a Monday and a Tuesday, or a Friday and a Monday. Basically, she's putting in a test run for like a longer weekend. And we're going to take a look at... There we go. Like, there should be monsters here. We're going to take a look at doing not a dry run, but taking the bus out for a weekend. We're actually looking at a lake that's not too far away from here. Going out for the weekend. Coming back, leaving Saturday and coming back Friday, or coming back Monday probably. That's the current plan. It'll be a lot of fun. Alright, so this is actually some danger here. Let's abort fighting the name guy and let's knock out these champ elementals instead. Yeah, see, even a regular one was only 5,000 experience, so these are just not in a great position after the level that we usually do them on. I thought there was oozes in here. Guess not. Oh, but we found a Plague Reaper. That's fun. Fun and exciting. That's one of the chief advantages of this build, by the way, is being able to use the swashbucklers. The guard breaking is huge. Guard breaking is enables your breaks on enemy guard between your melee attacks on critical hits with your melee weapon will become dazed. So basically what that's telling you is that you have just this great opportunity to make things stand still. What? What did you do to get wrecked? Oh, I thought I saw a Reaper somewhere. And she killed one of the champs. I think this is the last one anyway, right? I don't think we've really asked for a lot of healing out of her this go around. Earthshaker, Heart Taker. Let's see what else. I'd like to also check like my standing. Oh, wrong button. Get yourself back on your feet, girl. Damn it! Back on your feet. I'd like to check out my passive double strike. It says 10%. Like it'd be higher than that, but maybe 10% is correct. I have so many bursts and clickies though that we can look at that. That was essentially a 200+ point attack right there. Let's have you handle that, and then I'm gonna go get my mushroom. Essentially because of the double strike. Focus enchant. Don't forget also because of the rapid slash, we're basically also running 10%, or sorry, 20% extra double strike almost always. Unless something weird happens and we miss that attack. So that's a 30% essentially all the time. Plus, again, we have enough 10% action boost and 30% action boost, so we can kind of run them whenever. you know, pretty pleased overall. I think we have just enough like buttons and stuff that we can boost high enough where we are right now that it feels good. But yeah, this build is just kind of rock solid. Again, PRR 43, which is not the best, but we're level 8. Not that bad. And then 28 right now. These numbers are only going to go up. Going to go up large, I hope. For slaying full plate, hard pass. Huh. Dire Thermalogic Ring of Radiance, which means the Dire Thermalogic is giving intelligence and disable device. Seems odd. Seems real odd. Maybe that's just their code phrase right now for having 2 powers. No, we're not on the hardcore today. We're on Sarlona. I'm giving Nim's group a little bit of time to catch up. Oh, I should probably get into the voice chat too. Yeah, I'm giving their group a little bit of time in hopes that this evening we can play, knock out a couple of raids. I have a couple more left to do. I don't care about grouping. There we go. What do we want to do next? We could do Dead Girl, Troglodyte's Git. We could start on these quests. Oh, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Love you 3000 also. Yeah, we should... Oh, actually, these are right here, too. Let's... Yeah, actually. Let's grab a Hireling, and we'll go to the 12 quests. The reason we want to do that instead of Iron Mines is because there's a level jump in the Iron Mines, aka Grey Moon Waning, and I like to just do that chain all at once. So if we end up going in because we, you know, level or whatever, it affects us a little bit less if we're level 9 instead of level 10 over there. So about this music thing I talked about on DDOcast. I'm mostly fiddling around. Do I have Jerry's intro? I don't at the moment, but I could probably put my hands on it. I was also trying to... I was also listening to Cherry Bomb this weekend. I think that's the name of the song. I remember thinking, man, that thing also like does the kind of stuff that I'm looking for. I can look and see if I can find something. It should be in the, like, any of the DDOcasts. Like the old DDOcast, it was the intro. So I don't think I've got a copy of it. But I can get a copy of it. Copy of it. Oh no. My biggest problem with like making my own intro, just something that I've been working on for a little bit here, is the fact that I only play the one instrument, so it's hard to like layer other things in unless you do it all digitally mixing, which I have done in the past, but not very successfully. Hi. I mean, I know that you and I have talked about it in the past. You know, we talked about like what is it? Like the X-Men theme song. Like, but then you listen to DDO cast stuff and it's like, man, that's so good too. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not gonna take any help for granted. You know what I mean? Most of us trying to put a shout out there how much I miss the DDO cast intro / outro. That's the old outro, by the way, or the old intro. The old intro is now the new outro. So basically, that was the song for years and years and years, and then somebody decided to make a new one. And they used that for the intro, the new song, which the new song is also good, but the old song is a classic. There's something about it. It's got he managed to bottle some magic that day. You know what I'm saying? All right, so I didn't bring a water breathing item, so we need to be careful about that. 2 years old? Might be like the original one. The one that I really like is older than that. You can go back to pretty much all of them. Hang on, let me see if I can. Well, let me get through this part and then I'll Google around and see what I can find. We're on a song for 7 months. Ended up keeping the first version you did in the beginning. Yeah. Well, this is I said Jerry always talked about how he knocked out the first version like just tooling around one weekend. And to me, that's part of the magic of that particular song. It's just like it came together. You didn't analyze and agonize over every little bit of it. You just put it together and played it and had a blast. Let me go ahead and have the cleric throw me a heal as I power swim forward here. But, I mean, I've worked on stuff in the past and I've had similar experiences where you, like, agonize and like particularly like big programming projects and you like fiddle with it and tweak it and then sometimes you're like, man, you know what, these This just worked better when I wasn't doing all this nonsense. Alright. Let me just look and see something here. Huh, okay. Yeah, here it is. Unfortunately, that's just from the beginning of EDOcast 603, the new and returning players episode. That's cool, man. I haven't played in front of anybody in a long time. Yeah, I used to have a fantasy where I was gonna play cello professionally and whatnot, but life took a twist. That was good. That was very good. Even if it was terrible, right? Even if it was terrible, I don't think Cammy would have walked out. Alright, so he told our hireling to go pull the lever. Unfortunately, this ooze is attacking. Looks like the hireling's going to tear it up anyhow, so that's good. Alright, so our melee damage is not great on our non-swashbuckling weapon. Right? But that's okay. Like comedians on stage that bomb, I would die. Yeah, I mean, it is a risk, right? It's a danger. Just like doing this show. Anytime you put yourself out there on Front Street, it could go horribly wrong. But it's also value. Also the best. So, I'm glad that, I'm glad you got the opportunity to play for your lady friend. Very cool. Get back here, you jerk. Yeah. Big risk, big reward, right? Much risk, much reward. Oh man. We gotta keep talking. My stomach yeah, I jumped into Discord. My stomach is starting to like let me know again that we haven't eaten in a while. It's like, you know about that food thing. You're like, no, be quiet. Oh, as always, everyone who's level appropriate would like to join us on the Sarlona server. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Oh, I hit the wrong button again. Sarlona hype. Sarlona hype. It's today another day that the buttons are going to act all squirrely.
There's my guy.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Nothing much, my friend. It's Monday morning. Tired and ready to.
Feel that. Wait. Did I not achieve victory here?
All you're doing is they do a lot of stuff, and like you're not tired. You do like a little bit of stuff, and you're tired. You're like, what is going on with that? That was me yesterday.
Did punt. Yeah, like I said yesterday, I mowed and worked on the bus and worked on the bus some more. What else did I do? I did like 4 or 5 things yesterday. Now I can't think of anything besides mowing and working on the bus. But man, it was like 97, 98 yesterday. Mowing.
Yeah, it was 101 here.
And the humidity was like 50% or something because all the storm's about to roll in.
Yeah, ours is 12%, I think.
Yeah, it was just. It was pretty gross. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, but the grass, I swear, the grass was so wet that you could have squeezed it and got a drink of water. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. So wet. That was the worst part of yesterday. I hate mowing the yard.
Yeah, I hated it when I was a kid. When I got older, I'm like, no, I'm not doing that anymore.
Well, I used to say that too because Remington, you get to mow the yard now. But since he started college, he's like, yeah, I'll have to mow the yard. It's like, well, you're living here, you're going to have to help out sometimes and mow the yard.
You're 8th level, right?
Yep.
Okay. And I have 8 and a 7.
You can bring whichever one you want.
I'm in the Anvil Fire Inn. But I think you're over in
I'm in. Yeah, I'm in the 12 quests.
I always forget about those. Like when I look at the 6s and stuff, I'm like, oh, I'll go do like the other stuff in like House P or D, and I'm like, wait, those are those new ones. I forget about those.
Yeah, send me a tell.
Yeah. So the thing I figured out about DDO that I think they need to kind of change, because I was looking at LFMs the other day, and all it gives on the thing is like, it'll tell like the quest person, quest this, but it doesn't tell like where the quest is at, like where to find the quest, you know what I mean? People don't put it in their chat thingy on the LFMs.
Yeah, I mean, typically they work, the work around that for the LFMs is that people share. But when this LFM panel was originally designed, it was built for like what, 25, 35, 45 quests. You know what I mean? And now there's what, 700 or 500 or some stupid number. And it just hasn't changed a lot since then. There's actually a whole bunch of people, I believe, on the forums asking for an upgrade on the elephant panel.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of confusing. I'm not confused, but it's like, if I want to jump into a group, they don't want to wait for me to have to go, like, search the wiki, like, maybe find where this Gunther blah 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 is at, because it doesn't, like, tell you where it's at. So you're like, okay. He's got to guess, kind of in a way.
Yeah, but if you get a share and then you hit the L button, it should come up. Then it should tell you, like, bestowed by this guy in the 12, etc., etc. So, like, it should be there if you have it in your quest journal. Hey, good morning, Wood. It's good to see you, girl.
Alright, getting on my horse.
Alright, so 10 minutes ago, DDO put out server instability Monday, July 20th. The game worlds are experiencing periods of server instability due to issues under investigation in the data center and relevant environments. We are actively working to correct the issues. They also said something similar last night. So we'll see. This is hilarious. There was a comment on that post, but since most relevant was selected, that comment was completely edited out. There's only one comment on there. That's hilarious. Let me know when you made it inside the thing.
You know, the issue I have sometimes when I play is like people are like, oh, hop into my Discord. I'm like, man, I can't log in your Discord because I gotta log out of the game because I'm playing it through a TV. Or they're like, oh, use game chat. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta have like, or some other type of chat. I'm like, can we just use one universal chat?
Well, the problem is that DDO's chat's so bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad that they have one, and it's really nice that it's there, but the normalization on it's real bad. Sometimes you can't hear people. Sometimes people can't hear you. Like, I don't know. The same audio quality that I'm sending to you right now over Discord is the same thing I am sending to DDO's voice chat. Right? All the settings are the same. Why do people, like, we can't hear you, man? Like, what is it about what's going on? It says, oh, sorry.
Oh, so your setup was both. Like someone logs in so you can talk right away no matter what platform they're on?
Yes, I can do in-game chat or Discord.
Okay.
I have in-game chat set up for push to talk, where I have Discord set up on all the time. And that's because I spend a lot of my time talking to the audience and you guys that I don't need to be, like, cluttering my in-game chat with.
Alright, should be in any second. It's loading.
Oh, yep.
And there's the other one people use. What was the other one? I can't remember what it's called now. I thought it was long gone and dead, but I guess it wasn't.
Alright. So let me know that you're in, or wiggle around on the map.
Yeah, I'm in. Yes, sir.
Okay. We are... This quest is done.
I leveled. How funny.
I don't think I care about any of the gear that comes out of this chest, so...
I think I'm going right to you. We'll see.
Alright, so what you want to do is go to the bottom of that other big room that you were in. And at the very bottom you should see a long hallway with some shrines. So yeah, just fall down that room.
Oh, the bottom. I see.
And then head east. Head east.
I see shrines up ahead.
Yeah, and then that'll curve around either right or left. It shouldn't matter. Both ways should be clear, but south is 100% clear for sure.
I remember they should do the fights on both sides, and you go into the room.
You're right. Pull that lever, and then to your east should be a little doorway or a hallway. Go down there and click on that D door, and you'll poof in this room. Then you can go loot this treasure chest for you. Alright, and I'm recalling.
Nothing in this chest.
But anyway, overall, I say this about most of my builds, but I'm really glad that I decided to do knock the dust off of this. I don't know if it's good yet. I haven't figured it out, but I'm definitely having a good time with this build.
Yeah, the one I did, the same build, but the rogue instead of the fighter. I got to the warlock burst first. I want to get the burst, so I just had something in that aura. Then I went to the bard next, then fighter, then back to the bard. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, the pattern that I'm doing here is a pattern that I've done for this build previously, so I definitely feel like this is where I want to be.
Yeah, I was rummaging through my banker and I found a fiery one, meddling light crossbow. It's been there for 10 years, probably or more.
That's not bad. Alright, so I just jumped in the next quest there, Memory Lapse. I'm going to start clearing to the west.
Right behind it. I remember this one. You gotta do yeah.
Yeah, the reason I do the bard first is because the bard is the hard carry for this playstyle, not the other way around. The swashbuckling is what makes this kind of peanut butter and jelly together.
Yeah, I agree. The reason why I did it the other way was just because I was in a group that had a swashbuckler that was just going to be pure swashbuckler, and then we had like a monk, and we had nobody to do like area damage. So I was like, okay, I'll just go to the warlock part first.
Somebody's in an ouchie.
Oh, Popo. For the ambulance.
No, I think that's an ambulance. Hello, Reaper Man. Actually, I think that book that we want is the one that was downstairs. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. We'll take this one too. Take them both. Yeah. Still dealing with my nose going off. Again, we had, what, 4 days or 5 days of, like, stupid heat. And now we're going to have 4 days or 5 days of stupid rain. So my nose is just going to, like, struggle bus for the next 3 or 4 days, unfortunately.
Hey, in your keto diet, do you eat bison a lot or no?
I try to eat bison relatively often. The reason why, and this is something that is not well explained, but bison has to be grass-fed, grass-finished. You can't feed bison grain, which is something that we do to our cattle. Right, cows eat a lot of grains, which are not the best for. Alright, you smash those things. Not the best for people to eat. So, if you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to, or just stay healthy in general, you want your red meat to be grass-fed, grass-finished if you can. So that's why I have started eating more bison.
I've been changing my diet and don't think I'm going to be eating more bison.
Yeah, well, that's probably.
I'm not a salmon guy. I just don't like salmon, so it's like, you know.
You have access to hit points? Do I need to have my my Harley heal you?
Sorry, I didn't even notice that was. I got it.
She's coming around trying to heal you, but.
I was babbling and not paying attention. That's why I can never have a stream.
That's how it works, though. And then, yeah, I'm not a big salmon guy either. I got my aunt came to visit years and years and years ago, and she made salmon for us, and she was like, "Oh, the bones are soft. You can just chew them up." And because I was like, "Are you gonna debone that?" And she's like, "Nah, the same." Blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, okay. And
The bone, that's weird.
like 3 bites in, I got a bone stuck in the back of my throat. Like, yeah, I'm over this.
They're so easy to debone too. You take a little knife down the back and just open it and it pulls right out. It's crazy. But she wouldn't do that.
Over this morning, send me some buffalo. Oh man, wish it was that easy. Wish it was.
That's
that
why I
easy.
buy some. It's hard to find it sometimes.
Yeah. You might look at Butcher Block, love.
Butcher Box. Okay.
Butcher Box, yeah. I haven't done a whole lot myself with Butcher Box yet. But the YouTuber that I follow for nutritional advice, Thomas DeLauer, I think is how you say his name, he really recommends Butcher Box for his meat purchases. So
I'm a big chicken guy. I'm not really a beef guy. I'm like a chicken guy more or less, which is fine. But I just wanted to try. So bison's supposed to be really good. My A1C, I got my test back. My A1C levels, it's like 8.4. It's never been that high. I'm like always like at 6'1", 5'9", like always good, you know. So
yeah,
like, okay,
I don't have anything to compare that to.
That's the blood glucose index for like how your first IBEX breaks down your slow carbohydrates and better proteins and stuff like that. So when it's high, that's when your neuropathy, like you get foot pain, people go blind from diabetes. So you want to be around within like 5'5" to 6'5". So I've seen people as high as like 14'1". This guy read an article on it. 14'1". He went blind for like 3 months to fix his diet. Just doctor them following, and yeah, he got it back down in like 3 months, back down to the regular normal. But he was eating a lot of bison, salmon, sardines. I'm like, yeah, I like fish, trout, and bass, but I can't do like stuff I use for bait.
Well, sardines are supposedly like the best.
Yeah.
If they're water packed. The oil packed ones you got to be careful on apparently because they like to pack them in soy oil, which is the bad.
Yeah, I got the red palm oil coming. I ordered that. Oh, those are so
Get all the way out of the room. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I did. Why is he attacking me? I don't do that much damage.
So on Samus, I'm not sure why it happens. It does. But I have some sort of like secret stealth reduction for damage, and I don't know why.
Huh. Yeah, I was just doing like 25 to 30 per hit per bolt or a couple fire things. Nothing major.
So at my local grocery store, it's actually cheaper for me to pick up ground bison than it is to get ground hamburger right now.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, it's a supply and demand situation. Like,
I was thinking of if there's no COVID, like it would be like that. But now
correct. But because they shut down the meatpacking plants and stuff like that for as long as they did, now that we're kind of hitting that shift.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of coming here anyway, so. Row 5. I'm not saying that's true for every place, but here in Kansas, that seems to be the general truism. At least for quality beef. In Canada, it's hard to get because of all the places you get went out of business. Yeah, I mean, if people don't buy it, then it goes away, right? Like, that's how. Do I want to do these optionals? Sure. That's how the market works, right? Nobody buys your stuff, you go out of business. But also, they're not easy animals to like raise and. They're not like cattle. We always talk about getting rid of cattle and blah blah blah, but cattle, they're very docile animals. They're easy to move around, yada yada yada. Like they have a lot of advantages.
They're tasty.
They are one of the finer, in my opinion, proteins. I also really like cod. I think cod is on the short list. I'm currently trying to work more fish into my diet. The problem is because I live in Kansas, everything's frozen and then thawed here.
Yeah.
So it's like.
You should get. You guys have local fish markets, right? Yeah. Catfish, bass. I guess people can process pretty quick. Right?
People don't. Like, we have a couple of fish farms. Like, there's one in Hutch up the street, but they're mostly tilapia and stuff like that. If you want that kind of stuff, you're typically catching it in the rivers yourselves.
Gotcha. Do we need this journal over here? Hawksworth journal?
If you want to, you can pick them up, but I usually don't collect the 47,000 doodads that are required.
I was looking for it, so I was running around the shrine.
You might go back to that shrine and see if the hireling will shrine. She's out of the manas, and she might. She's on protect you mode, so she may or may not shrine. I don't know. I'm a furred. I thought I was immune to a furred. People buying, but cow meat was taking a hit. Well, then, I suspect some sort of legislature or some sort of other organization came together that affected it. instead of just letting the market do its job. Like, I can't make her shrine, but I can... Ooh.
No, she's not shrining. She went to shrine and she got back up.
That may have been my fault. I may have set her to... played with her options.
Come on.
That's alright. Not really sure where that was, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I was thinking about different music stuff for like for streaming, like like the ringing out thing was me and my buddy were talking about that. Because it'd be kind of cool to get like now coming to the podcast or the stream, Samus Garobo, and like music play behind it or something.
Yeah, like it doesn't need to be
medieval sound and kick into like a guitar or maybe a piano sound. I don't, there's so many things you can do.
Oh, did she jump in that room? She jumped in that room. That explains what happened. Okay. Like trying to figure out where the heal came from. Like, that's so weird, but it came from her. Okay.
You can make it a 30-second spot, a minute and a half. Just depends.
Like I said, I'm not greedy. I will generously play whatever somebody's like, hey man, check this out. I'll play it. Like, I actually have, another guy made me some techno-y music type stuff. And he's like, how long do you need? I'm like, well, honestly, I need, if I'm going to play it for the whole stream, you're talking about like 5 hours, 6 hours of music. He's like, yeah, I can do that. I'm like, okay. Well, then he gave me a file, and it's like 4 1-minute long songs on a loop for 30 minutes.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, I will use the 1-minute versions of them and play them, but I'm not gonna play your 5 hour every other minute loop here.
I think I found out instruction.
There's only one room left, so go back to the main room and to the east. You have farmers who control what we get, and every year they cry and demand prices go up and hands out from the governments, even though other businesses don't get that. Yeah, well, farmers tend to get the short end of the sticks in general.
Hell yeah, they do.
I mean, I can't speak to Canada specifically, but like here in Kansas, where we are a heavily farming community, people like to think of farmers as these rich people with all the money and all this land and all this miscellaneous stuff, but people don't realize how much they...
The margin for error farming is so slight, it's crazy.
Yeah, well, that and insurances and fuel and...
everything.
If the weather's not just right, it affects your stuff, and...
If you have to change crops, you gotta replow the field, reseed.
Like, you don't get enough rain, your crop dies. You get too much rain, your crop dies. You
have bugs, animals, eat your stuff.
Yeah.
People stealing your stuff. People rummaging through your crops. Oh, man.
Though when I lived out of town, going hunting for wild elk and moose was your main source of meat, but being back in the city makes it hard to get good meat. Yeah, I can buy that, though. I can buy that.
Yeah, but if you live by just hunting, man, you might starve for a while.
Well, there's...
Fishing's one thing, but hunting is a...
So there is a YouTube channel called the One Wild Crafter, I think? One Wild something? It's spelled really weird to try to be punny. And what this guy did and his wife did, they're Canadian. I can't think of their name, their real name at the moment. But they did what they called the Big Wild Year. Right? So they worked to have enough wild game either saved up or they hunted themselves or their friends helped them with, etc., etc.
Got lightning bolts in it.
Yeah, these methods up here are real nasty. Um,
Just finish the quest. I'll just hang out here up in the beam.
well, I mean, it's gonna. I gotta go to the shrine too, so
Okay.
I will acquire you as I'm able. But yeah, they did a whole year. He and his wife living off nothing but wild game, and like measured their weight loss and how they felt, and I think she was doing it for her doctorate, and he was doing it as some sort of research project. It's actually really interesting watching, like, because they did all the blogging and all that various information. You know, they, like I said, they put them out on YouTube videos, and they did a lot of like YouTube live streams and stuff like that. And it was actually very interesting watching them kind of go through that for a year. And then they were like, oh man, I really imagined how great food was going to taste when we could just eat whatever we wanted again, yada yada yada. They're like, yeah, I just don't crave it. I don't know if I'm gonna, how much we're gonna go back, or I have not heard recently about their follow-up exploits. Alright, let's see if we can find where you're at. There you are.
What weapon are you using?
Say what?
What weapon are you using?
I'm using a Nightforge stiletto, but I'm using the skin of the
razor end.
Of the razor end. I love that skin.
That's the greatest weapon ever.
I don't know if it's the greatest weapon, but it's on the short list of skins for sure.
Yeah, it's like a big Bowie knife. It's cool looking.
Yeah, I really love this skin. Alright, let me see if I can pull up that YouTube channel for people real fast, for anybody who may be interested. I actually really love a lot of the Canadian like survival people stuff. Probably shouldn't let people see all the stuff on my YouTube. Hang on. Then people are gonna like go back and look at it like, what is he so ashamed of? It's just Factorio and tiny house things. Like, shh, don't tell anybody.
I just bought some of those.
Oh. Yeah, I've been there, done that. Alright, where'd this go?
I didn't check this character's gear at all. I'm like, oh, yeah, I have 2 healing pots. Right on.
We're live!
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how's everybody today?
What's going on, buddy?
Trying to be awake.
Sam, it's afternoon. Oh, well, for you it's not, but it is for me.
It is afternoon for me as well.
It's 10:15 for me.
Just still trying to wake up.
1:15 for me.
There it is. It is one wild crafter. Here he is. So I'll throw that into the chat for people. Hey, good morning, Gore. Yeah, they so they did the big wild year, and it was really interesting to watch the various bits and pieces and stuff like that. He's got a whole playlist for the big wild year, 42 videos. Like I said, I haven't checked in with them lately to see how things are going, but it looks like his last video is 3 weeks ago, so that's probably about right. But everything they do is like they either forage it or hunt it on their own. Their friends find it for them. They don't grow. They were doing all wild grain or all wild foods. I think they said they actually found a turkey and it was roadkill. That was their turkey for Thanksgiving. Eating wild meat is the best way to stay healthy and in shape. I don't necessarily disagree, but cows are really good. Cows are great. The problem is that cows, they, even if they're grass fed, they spend the last 30 to 60 days in a feedlot getting fattened up on grain, which is where the problem is that you can't. That we have all these. Actually, let me set this guy to protect you mode.
Yeah, but we've had this discussion before that I saw that thing on the news that states, and they said that you can get buy meat, and it says grass-fed, no hormones given to cow, but they can spray the hormone on the grass, and they don't break the law by it. And since it's grass-fed only, and we don't give cows directly hormones.
So grass-fed does not mean grass-finished. That means it can still go into a feedlot for the last month, 2 months, which is the loophole that so people see that and like, oh, this is grass-fed, but it doesn't mean it's grass-finished. So, and that's what we were talking about bison earlier, is that bison is, for it to legally be called bison and stuff like that in the U.S., it has to be both grass-fed and grass-finished.
And I do like bison meat.
Yeah.
Or some people just can't have the leans. I mean, less is more, you know. So, and like venison, some stuff is really gamey. So some people are like, they just, you know.
I've had about everything I can think of, and as far as that goes, tried at least something.
Man flesh. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Well, I hadn't had that.
No, you everything you could think of. Man flesh.
I said almost everything.
Mm-hmm. We all know what you love the most.
My wife.
Man flesh. So I usually just pick up just the books we want, but I think
You guys on Salona today?
yeah, they're having problems again. They posted yesterday that they wouldn't recommend people play on the hardcore server, so I logged in and rolled my daily dice, and people were like, so how bad is the lag? I'm like, it's so bad that DDO recommends you don't play on the hardcore server. And then I logged off. And then they just put out another announcement probably 15 minutes ago now, basically the same message.
Well, every time you go in and try to fix something, you cause little other problems.
I don't think that that's what's going on. I really don't think that the two issues are connected. I think that it's, hey, you got a thingy.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Never seen it before.
Yeah, all the hats that come out of this quest are really good. I really do think it's probably something else that's going on at the data servers. They'll figure it out. Just stay away from the hardcore until they do. But I played on the hardcore, Saturday evening, I think. Got a couple of the raids done, didn't have any problems. Had no problems whatsoever. Alright, I'm going to go back and grab my ship resistances. If you would like an invitation to get ship buffs,
yes, I'm just logging
let me know.
Rearrange some gear. Yep, I'll be there in a minute. I got guild right now. I'm going. That's old.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the idea of getting your own proteins and whatnot. Glad you jumped in a hole. You might have lagged, lost too. Maybe. Yeah, that's part of what's going on. Is people are getting these lag deaths, and it's killing both of their, like, if they have 2 lives, they're losing their bonus life or whatever.
I'm at the portal, sir. You like my name? That was kind of funny.
10 gauge, yeah, it's not bad.
My grandpa had a 10 gauge. I was like, you know what? Shebang. That kind of goes together. Not as cool as forehand, but you know what? Hey.
Hey man, 4 hands would make you a sweet fighter.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, make me a sweet something sometimes. But I figured out a cool.
That's bad.
So do you want this buckler, Sam? You probably don't, but just...
Yeah, I'll have to pass. I'm using the swashbuckler level 8 and the spectral deflector also level 8.
Gotcha. That's I figured you were already to...
Yeah, all the toys.
The spectral daggers too, maybe, for ghost bang and stuff.
I'm not actually using a spectral dagger currently. I have a flotsam with a red slot ruby ghostbane, so it, like, I don't know, just kind of like melts that kind of stuff.
I'm surprised how many people are on hardcore right now.
I'm not. I'm kidding. People don't pay attention to that stuff, and it could be totally fine. It could be totally fine for hours, right? Like, I haven't noticed anything particularly wrong here on Salona this morning. But then it doesn't take very long for it to go wrong. You know what? I'm going to start this one since Velo's over there still, and then we'll do the other one in a minute.
I'm just saying, time to jump.
Like, I'm definitely getting some load into the screen lag, or load into the quest lag, but nothing particularly nasty in the quest. Oh, wait, I gotta talk to this dork first.
I haven't heard anything from Beef lately. How's he doing?
I think he's doing okay. He is probably lurking. I haven't looked, but he's probably lurking. But busy, I think, right? He's something's going on with the school district. I'm not sure if it's good news, bad news, and different news, but I'm sure he's busy doing something. Whether it's getting ready for the school year or getting teachers ready to work from home.
Yeah, it's a colossal disaster at school. Damn if you, damn if you don't, kind of seems.
Well, it really is the teachers that have worries. So they're like, well, we'll just have everybody stay at home. And I'm like, why don't you just have the teachers zoom in to the classroom? Let teachers' aides or whatever sit and monitor the class, people who are not at risk. But then you can still have the older, experienced teachers do the actual teaching of the class remotely, if they're people who are at risk.
Aren't they still saying that students need to be 6 feet apart?
Yes.
The kids are practically immune to this thing. That is what all of the pediatric hospitals and all of the research is pointing to. They're not literally immune, but they're like, you can count on one hand the number of children who've had problems with this thing, and almost every one of them have to do with pre-existing conditions of other things.
Remember the first time this COVID came through, and they said that the young people aren't, and the second wave came through now a lot of younger people are going.
The reason
why the third wave is going to hit, and it's going to go younger and younger.
No.
Yeah, what about the ones in New York? The kids had the effect after COVID-19.
There are some people that are showing like some diminished lung capacity and stuff like that, but it's my understanding, and I could be incorrect, because, I'm more interested in the demographics that affect my life now. But my understanding is that children under like 20, 25 in particular, are basically immune to this thing. It really is a disease that seems to attack the elderly or the already existing sick.
What are you talking about?
They had those dumbass people having like COVID parties, see if they can catch it, and one guy caught it. Then he was in his deathbed saying, I made a mistake. You think? Like, why would you even take that? Like, that's just stupid.
Well,
there's no logical sense.
They're like, a lot of things are, you come through, you catch it, you get rid of it, and you're generally done. They don't know if you can get re-sick with this or not.
It's good. An athlete gets positive already twice. One athlete.
Yes, but the problem is that they've now admitted, and I don't know if you guys have seen this, but they've now admitted that a positive coronavirus test actually just means that you've recently got over something in the same family, which can be a cold.
That's true.
See, I don't want to take risks like it could be a cold or like
sure, you're at a high risk. Again, you're at a high risk situation.
But the part I'm saying is like this: like people had to be like trying to catch it to be cool. It's like, dude, I wouldn't go sleep with a bunch of girls that maybe one has AIDS to see if I can catch it. It's like, why? What is the goal in your mind to make you think that it has something to do?
I mean, who knows? People do a lot of stupid things, right?
I understand like dumb stuff, but that's just
but like
why that? You can't go fishing, go on a vacation, go play Monopoly. I don't know. It just seems like why does that be like a game, a challenge to get something to die?
But like this to me, this second wave is directly tied to those protesters. You know, a lot of people are trying to blame it on like Memorial Day weekend or something, but it's like, no, I don't buy it.
Dude, the beaches down here were so insane, and people just in all direction.
Well, people were getting it packed in, forced out, not allowed to leave your house. Like, California is one of the places where they went to an extreme, in my opinion. And I don't think it's going to help. I think people are going to keep going sick. The other thing is that, especially in the last month and a half or so, they have focused away from like deaths and hospitalizations to cases, right? They've switched. So we went from like, oh yeah, we've got, 100,000 deaths, which is terrible. Just terrible. But they've gone away from that because people started pointing out, like, wait a minute, this isn't even a bad flu season yet. Like, we need to be a little, and the flu is actually more deadly to like the little people, the children. But like, they've switched the marketing from that to cases, and again, their case data information is being kind of twisted in a weird way too. Like I said before, they, if you're testing for the antibodies test, that just means you got over you could have got over a cold or something else in that family, but that's being called coronavirus case. It's like, well, but is it really that, or is it trap up here?
Problem. I agree with you 100%. That's why I don't want to be putting people at risk or risk myself on a woulda, coulda, shoulda, maybe could be, not sure. So I don't want that.
Well, that's just it. But
I don't want to die. Pretty
sure.
simple. If people want to die, then go die. That's fine. But I don't want to die. I'm not going to put my fans and family into
Well, and that's just it. I think you should have that right to say, I don't want to do it. I want to be safe. I want to make sure that I keep my family safe. We're going to do this. It's like, all right, right on. Have a good time. But I leave the house once a week, sometimes twice a week, right? I go to the doctor and the acupuncturist now, and I go to Friday Night Magic. I see the same people at Friday Night Magic, right? And all those people basically stay locked at home as well, right? Mm-hmm. And so once a week we see each other for 3 to 5 hours, okay? If one of them's sick, I expect him to stay home.
Yes.
Right? And we all tell them that. Like, hey, if you're not feeling good, stay home. We don't want you here. It's not that important for you to be here if you're not feeling well. Okay? Now, you put that same stuff in mind. Now I got to go wear a mask. And for a lot of people, that's not a big deal. But for me, that's migraine-inducing nonsense. It's taking my already painful 3 or 4 that I'm already probably experiencing. Usually more because the noise at the arena is such that it triggers me a little bit. And then you're making me put that mask on. And after an hour, 45 minutes wearing that mask, my head is like a 6 or a 7. Very consistently. I walked up to my boss last week. He's like, "You look really bad." I'm like, "Yeah, my head is just, wearing this mask has just dialed my head up so hard." He's like, "Yeah, it really sucks having to do this all the time." I'm like, "Yeah, but that's the law, and that's, like it or not, the city and the county does have the authority to ask us to wear it." He's like, "Yeah, it does."
And to me, it's like wearing it. It's like if I said, "Hey, Sam, you got to wear this all the time," you'd be like, "Dude, who are you to tell me that?" I'm like, "Well, you just have to do it." It's like, it's for a positive, good reason.
It's not, though. Like I said, I literally go and I talk to my doctors. They're like, "Yeah, wearing this mask thing is just going to cause more harm than good." So, like,
that's the problem, though, to me. It's like there's not taking information right to everybody. You got one people say it's great, one people say it's bad. So then what do you do? Just guess. Hopefully you just pray that the God will save you.
Well, you just do your best to stay healthy. You take your vitamins. You lose the weight. Like, those are the 2 big indicators, right? Is weight and secondary conditions. Mm-hmm. And then age. So,
I have 4 of them.
Yeah, well, that's, like I said, you're in a high risk position. You know what I mean? Like, you should protect yourself. I feel like if you're at risk, or if you have family members that are at risk, or you should take an opportunity to try to protect yours and your own. Like, I have no problem with that. People can do that all day long. But I am also a person who feels like asking me to do something and then forcing me to do it is a different story.
Well, I agree.
Like...
To me, it's like a good faith thing. It's like, I may not want to do this, but it's betterment for my society and my
Is it, though? But it's not. Again, depending on which side of the coin you're looking at. Like I said, the health experts that I talk to on a regular basis, right? These experts that I speak with, they point out things like, every time you touch your mask without switching it, it's contaminated. Now you're holding germs and viruses next to your face.
See, that's the problem, because the problem there, right? You have all doctors. How come they can all learn from the same stuff? But
they don't. They're all different. They're all very different.
I'm just saying, you break your ankle, this is how we fix your ankle. You don't have 75 different doctors saying, "No, this is how we really do it now," or "not do it anymore." It's like, look, man, which one is it? Yes or no? Right or wrong? Which one?
Well, so, have you ever... I don't know if it's a joke or a saying or what it is, but you ever heard, like, if you're not feeling well, and you... depending on what kind of doctor you go to, that's the kind of treatment you're gonna get. Like, I'm trying to think of how to put it, but, like, it really depends on what kind of doctor it is that will see your symptoms through their lens.
Here's the best way I can put it. Someone put it to me this way the other day, and it was okay. So, like, we have, like, countries who don't like each other, right? Like, we don't like Iran, Israel likes us, some other countries like we want to go to war with sometimes. Let's say aliens landed and had massive weapons. I think everybody on Earth would be on the same side now. That's what we need with COVID. Everybody's got to be on the same side. I don't need 65 doctors saying, "Don't do this, yes, do this, maybe do this." We all don't know what's going on, so just we try to protect each other the best we can. If I got to wear a turban over my face to protect my family and friends, I'm going to do it. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to protect Sam. I'm going to protect forehand. I'm not going to be this. I'm not going to be stubborn and go, "I just don't have to do it." Like, I know I don't have to do it, but just betterment for people.
Again, though, the problem...
That's what I'm saying.
The problem is that there's there's different information, which is the problem when it comes to stuff like this, is that there's so much in the way of interpreting the data that's out there.
Yes.
There's a meme floating around Facebook right now that be sure to, okay, yeah, you came straight in. Floating around, it's like, if you sneeze on somebody, there's is the highest likely to get them sick with the coronavirus. I'm like, okay, yeah, if you just straight up sneeze in somebody's face, I'll agree. That's a pretty high likelihood. If you have it, yeah, okay, I get you. That's fine. Then you put a mask on, it's reduced a whole bunch. Like, from the sneeze directly in somebody's face, yeah, you're right. You definitely got it. Then they're like, and you're 6 feet away with the mask on it. I'm like, so you're 6 feet away and you sneeze on somebody with a mask on, there's like 0% chance. I'm like, okay, well that makes sense to me. But what's the difference between being 6 foot away and sneezing with your hand over your mouth? It's the same. It's the same, you know. But instead of having a thing that's holding the germs up against my face, you know, and then the CDC says wearing a mask only helps if you have the virus. If you don't have the virus, wearing a mask doesn't do anything. So it's like, okay, well, which experts do we want to listen to? We want to listen to the CDC and these people over here? Do I want to trust my doctor that I trust for medical advice? Like, yeah, those are the people I want to listen to. You know, it's not like an external threat. You know what I mean? You're talking about a threat that is invisible and tiny and we haven't learned about enough. You know, so in my point of view, it's like, well, why, if we're worried that much about this illness, right? Then why don't we just wear masks all the time for flu season, stuff like that? It's more deadly, like according to the numbers right now.
Drunk driving's deadly. I mean, all kinds of are deadly. But there's some type of fixes for those things. Some type of antibodies and vaccines. I used to get the flu all the time years ago. Started taking the flu shot. Haven't had it since. But there's no coronavirus shot. I don't
Right.
want some guy
This is
wearing
new.
a mask breathing on me and I get it, so I'll kill him.
This is new. This is new right now.
That's why people don't take it serious. It's like Africa when Ebola hit. They were like, didn't take it serious. They started wiping people out. They said, oh, now we gotta take it serious. You think?
Yeah, but Ebola, comparing Ebola to what this is like trying to compare apples to a wild bison.
I know where I'm going. These walls, can't find anywhere. I'm just finishing out.
Just keep walking. Let's see.
I walked all over this joint.
That should be the beginning. So just keep walking straight. Do you need a Mux Devastation? You probably do. Walk back through the water.
I'm just finishing out. It's cool.
No, just keep walking through here. You're almost there. This chest is really good.
But there's nothing here. There's a wall next to me. So I can't.
Alright, hang on.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me go figure out where you're at. But, like, trying to compare it to Ebola is like, you're talking about something that's a magnitude several hundred times more likely to get caught.
I was just using the thing of like something we have no cure for is killing people. That's all I was just using the analogy.
Sure. But the thing is that the death rate on this thing is super low by comparison. The reason you don't hear about death rates now is because we're getting a much better handle of treating it and keeping people alive. Like, there are still deaths. You know, it's something like, what is it, a little more than 100 people per state, give or take. Here, right here. You don't see Oh, you just didn't see this bend around this corner?
No, I was going this way here and I couldn't go around. Like, where am I supposed to go?
There's a bend around the corner. So like I said, it's all about taking the numbers and kind of like twisting them to the point that you want to do and the point you're trying to have, right? So like, one side of the argument who wants to like shut everything down and like if we save just one life, it's worth nuking the economy. You have that side, right? And for a lot of people, that's probably true, at least in the short term. So we start looking at numbers that the economy shutdown is affecting. You know, like that's hurting people in a lot of ways too. You know, and then you have the other side of the argument. It's like, well, people should, you know, this is all BS. There's no virus, yada yada yada. Well, that's obviously not correct. Like, there's obviously a virus. People are obviously getting sick. Come click this little chest over here.
Itty bitty things, right? Oh,
There you go. Sweet.
sapphire
That
studded
belt
buckle.
is actually really good too. That's a shield clicky. You can have that thing.
Oh, thank you.
So to me the question becomes, whose responsibility is it to take care of your health? Right? Is it your job to take care of your health, or is it government's job to take care of your health?
I think it's
Because once you give the control to the government, they're going to take a mile. Ah, you're overweight. You have to be on a diet. Ah, you can't eat at McDonald's anymore because you're overweight. Ah, your cholesterol is too high. You have to start eating this now. Like, to me, that's what I'm worried about. I'm not as worried about, for me and my family right now, getting sick. We're on the cusp, but we naturally are kind of already doing, like, we basically self-isolate. The person who goes out and interacts with the world the most, my son Remington, who is very young, but when he's typically with people, aka when he's at work, he's wearing a mask because those people are high at risk. So, and he gets tested, not specifically for corona, but he gets the warning sign stuff tested, and then when they do have an incident, he would be tested for corona at a high rate. So, like, for me and to me, my family is in a position, and I would not begrudge anybody for saying, yeah, I'm going to stay locked in. Like, if that's what you think is best for your family and for you, you should do that. That's amazing. You should. But there's a lot of people out there who can't afford to keep doing it. Whether it's actually, don't. I'm going to go back and get a different hireling, or another hireling to help keep you alive.
I'll get one too. That's a good idea.
Oh man, I shouldn't have broken the thing.
I'll get one from the store.
That's alright. I'm going to reset. Let's just reset anyway. I'll go grab a regular one.
I get what you're saying, Sam, but sometimes it's like,
But
people
Sam,
don't care.
let's put it like this: there are people out there, and I'm the devil's advocate on this one. There are people out there that you said cover up your mouth. They know to cover up their mouth. But there's people out there who don't cover up their mouth. They don't care if they come today. If they say, "Hey, buddy, you're sick," well, I'm not going to stay home and die by myself. I'm going to go out and party with everybody else. And they have that attitude that if I had the disease, I want everybody to have the disease.
So?
And how are you going to stop those people from coming out and join your group? How can you stop somebody that it wants to build a bomb and blow up a school, or build a bomb to blow up a building, or build a bomb to blow up
How am I
a
going to
church?
stop people from drunk driving? How am I going to stop people from
Right.
giving each other AIDS?
But the thing of it is,
I can't,
is that
so I'm not going
the
to try.
So,
That's not their job.
Okay, so we all can't be, like you said, we can't be locked up. Financially, we have to support our families,
Well,
have some
and
kind of
not
income
just that,
in
but-
and stuff like that. I can understand it, but being safe and not taking a chance, even though you may not like what they're saying is your chance to be safe, you need to do it because that there is that chance that you could get the infection and don't even know it and infect other people.
So that seems currently that is a misconception, according to the latest numbers from the CDC and the whatever thingy, the pandemic response team or whatever thing. That is not correct. According to them, they have no evidence that you can pass this thing along without showing symptoms.
That's what they said about, I guess when we give credit for Typhoid Mary, I knew a girl who was sick with a disease that is contagious, and she did show no signs, did not even though she's even sick, but she went ahead and passed it to everybody else, which made everybody else sick. So,
Sure.
we can't sit there and say that, well, I don't feel sick, I'm not going to worry about it, but you may get it, and you may never show things, but you could give it to somebody else.
Well,
Now, I mean,
again,
let's
that's
look at
currently
psychologically. Let's
that
look at
is
psychologically.
currently, according to, again, the CDC and the best information that we have available, that is not a fact. That is a guesstimate, or whatever people are saying, however you want to put it. That is apparently misinformation at the moment.
Let's say it's 10% not true. I'll take that 10% and be safe and protect my friends and family.
Good.
That's-
I mean, I'm glad.
When I go to the store tomorrow, and I got my mask on, and there's some guy in there saying, I'm not going to wear a mask, and to cough on people, I'm going to punch him in his mouth and go, you're a bad American. You're a bad person.
Well, I think that's what's going on right now. But the thing of it is your people, Sam, my doctor is one who taught in the Southeast how to do the heart ablations. You know, he's a highly educated person, stuff like that. He tells me that everybody should wear a mask. He says,
Sure.
says because he said it protects you and protects them from giving it to you, because you don't know who's got it. I mean, we know actually could show symptoms and be carrying it.
See, again, this is another guy who believes that you can pass it around without showing any signs.
But he's a doctor. I mean,
so,
how can I deny that his existence?
There are 10,000 doctors out there that'll say that you can't do it.
And then there's 10,000.
So now you're just trusting somebody who that you know personally, which is great. That's who you should believe. Like, that's the expert that you turn to. But if I turn to my expert and my expert says, I'm not wearing a mask, this is malarkey. My doctor was so adamant that he organized an anti-mask rally because he said the side effects or the wearing a mask like this is so unhealthy, it's going to have longer lasting ramifications in the long run. So which expert am I supposed to take? Am I supposed to take the doctor that I trust? Or am I supposed to take the doctor that you trust?
But see, Sam, he just brought up a point. Why do doctors wear masks in surgery? Why are doctors?
You mean in the already stable?
Wait a minute. Why does the hospitals require? Why are these nurses all complaining about not having enough masks?
Would you like me to answer the question?
That they have to wear double mask or triple mask and throw that one off. And sometimes they don't even get to do that because they don't have enough masks. And yet, here we're saying that the medical field don't know anything.
All right, stop.
The majority of doctors. Okay.
Let me answer the question, and then you can carry on with your second point. Masks are worn in surgery and in hospitals because those are already sanitary and sterile-esque environments. You're limiting as much as possible from an already sterile environment for like a surgery mask, or in a hospital you're already it's already reducing the likelihood because of the cleaning procedures and stuff like that. Those are things that are not taking place in the real world. We do not have a sterile real world. We do not have a sterile environment. People are not being cut open and spread open in the real world, hopefully, on a regular basis. Okay, that is why they do that. It's taking the last 5% out of hopefully getting you an infection, and they still happen. Staph infections still run crazy through hospitals.
Oh yeah, they do.
Right? It still happens. But how? They're wearing a mask. They're wearing gloves. Like, it's impossible, right? No, things still happen. It still is a problem. So that is why they wear those things at the hospital. All right, carry on your second point.
Okay.
One second. If the doctors say like it's unhealthy to wear the mask, makes you unhealthy, then why? As I'm saying, surgeons must have bad health because they work all day in surgery.
Again, you're talking about one, in a sterile environment designed to be sterile. Two, people who go through months of medical training on how to wear a mask. Right? They don't touch their face. They don't do anything. But if you wear a mask, every time you touch if you touch your mask, you should throw it away and get a new mask. Like this is the kind of stuff. Like, people think, oh, well, doctors wear them, so they must be. But again, the situation is different. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't wear a mask. I'm just saying it's not the government's job to tell me that I have to. You should decide whether or not you want to or not.
Okay, but wait a minute. What about the nurses who are not in surgery? That's what we're talking about.
Again, the hospital
nurses
that's in a more...
you say that it's required thing, but they're saying that they don't have enough to do it. And yet they're feared. They're well. They're healthy people who are working there, young nurses who are working there, who have young kids at home, who are scared to go home to their kids because they say, I'm going to give this to my kids. How can a person who wears a mask all day, who it doesn't really maybe come in contact with anybody by COVID, actually fear of giving this stuff to their kid when they're nice and healthy?
Everybody has fears,
if these nurses
whether they're rational
scared,
or not.
Where did they get their fear from? From the people that you listen to, which is, you said, is the majority of doctors.
I
Or is
say
it
them are
from
the
the
majority.
doctors that they see that
I
are
said
fighting
our
this,
leading
that tells them
experts.
how contagious this disease
All
really
doctors
is.
should be on the same page. I shouldn't have all these doctors giving bad advice.
Right.
Good advice.
Could you be? Every musician should be on the same page.
Well, I understand. I understand what you're saying, Steph, because like if a doctor comes over, you walk in your doctor, and your doctor says, "Hey, I think that you've got cancer, but I don't think that surgery is going to be any good for you. I don't think that chemotherapy is going to be any good for you, and I just think you should go home and die." And then you say, "Okay, I'm going to get a second opinion." Go and see another doctor. The doctor says, "I could do this surgery, and I can do this, and guarantee you, I can get rid of the cancer, and you don't have to take no chemotherapy. You don't have to take any."
I'd like to see this doctor that's going to guarantee
And
magic.
Do you know this example is my father-in-law? He had stomach cancer. The first doctor he goes and sees, she says, "Well, I'm a professional in cancer. I've seen this. You're 90 years old. You're not going to survive it. You're going to die. So just go home, enjoy your last days." He doesn't like that. He doesn't like that. So he goes and sees another doctor. The doctor says, "I can do this microscopic surgery on you. Remove the cancer's in your stomach, take it all out, stitch it up, and you'll have to have no chemotherapy if I get it all out." So he decides to do that. Guess what? They get rid of that stomach cancer. He has no results of the cancer at all around the stomach or around the areas from a simple operation that cut like 4 holes in his side, and they went in microscopically and with little arms and cut it out, and then they did a biopsy on it, and they said, "Well, it looks clean up to here, but I like to have like a half an inch more or an inch more of the stomach lining." They sit there and remove the rest of it, cut his stomach down to 1/3 size. Then he goes and he spends time in a place that's going to take care of him, give him the right food. He spends 5 days there, then he's back home and not have another sign of it. Okay, to me, the first choice of the first doctor that gave him advice, who's a professional, was not the advice he wanted. He wanted to live. That's his main thing. He wanted to live. So he wants to go to another doctor and see what he thinks. The second doctor's totally different. Totally different, off the wall. She. If you went back to the other doctor, she probably said, "Well, he's just doing it because he just wants your money." But he cured it. He got rid of it.
Right.
So, to me, we're all going to get different. You're right. We're all going to get different information. We're going to have some people say, "Don't wear the mask." Some people say, "Wear the mask." But the thing of it comes down is, neither side is correct. The thing of it is, if you love your fellow man,
Yep.
you could say, "Well, I don't want to wear a mask," and stay home. That's good. You don't have to wear a mask. If you go out in public where you're going to associate with other people, then you should wear the mask.
Why?
Even if you don't
Again,
think
you're
you're going to
getting-
catch it.
If it's more likely that you're going to pass it around because it's on your mask or you touch something, and I disagree. I disagree in many ways, but basically what you just said, and this is also the same argument that B-Love has. And it's like, if you're a good person, you're going to do this. No, that is not at all correct. And everyone has to make their own decisions. Everyone has to make their own decision, but that doesn't arbitrarily make you good or bad or terrible or you should be punched in the face or anything like that. It's a situation. See, it's a situation where you got to take the facts as you know them and make a decision off of the information you have. Whether, again, my doctor tells you, "No, that's nonsense. These are the reasons this is bad," and then, but you guys have in my opinion, you have the fear. And you're going to go like, "Oh no, these people are bad. They need to be hit them in the face if they're doing this."
I don't have that problem with Sam.
But it's a matter of
not wear a mask, but you
literally just said that somebody is terrible if they don't put on the mask.
I don't feel that way. That's their point of view. But if
you're a good
like
person,
Walmart,
you're going to go out and deal with
that
people.
will lose business by refusing to take 10% or 15 or 20% of the population who don't want to wear the mask, and says, "Now if you come into our store to do business with us, you have to wear a mask." Then you say, "Well, they've got to be wrong. This is hurting their business. I mean, if they make you do this, then look at all the money they're going to lose because people will go in there if they have to wear a mask." The thing of it is, they must have a reason to do it.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
it's
more
political
involved
expediency.
than just say that there's a small chance that you could catch this disease.
Political expediency. However, and this is my point about businesses, businesses can do whatever they want, just like you can do whatever you want. If a business told me, hey, you can't come in unless you're wearing a mask, then I'll be like, either, okay, well, I'm either not going to buy from you, or I will put a mask on. Those are my two choices, because I either want enough to deal with that business or not. It's why I wear a mask when I go to the arena. It's why I do it, because the business has asked me to put a mask on.
Can I hop in real quick?
Sure.
So I remember I told you this before, Sam. A few weeks ago, I was at the little register getting packed smokes. There was this African American lady standing in front of the register, arguing with the guy about a lighter.
Right. I remember.
So it's me. I'm 6 feet away, and behind it. So she started acting all goofy and stupid. Then she had the COVID. Started coughing at the guy behind the register. The guy behind me was like, "I want to stab her in the neck." She is such a. I said, "Dude, I know she's a bad person, dude. Why do people do this? I don't get it."
Yeah.
Like, the guy behind me literally wanted to go stab her in the neck. I was like, "Dude, you can't do that, man."
It was a person who's going to physical violence here. All right, hang on. Let me.
But she was not helping society at all. Let's say she had it.
Okay.
So why would you? It's like why would you're just trying to? Why would you do that to people?
So
It makes no logical sense. Like why would you be an asshole and do that?
Here's a
If you
question.
can get away with it because you have your right. Bullshit. Your right's out the window.
So let's keep it in California for a second, right?
Yeah.
Let's pretend you're a person that has HIV. Right?
Same thing.
It's far more deadly, right? Like by the statistics, although there is a treatment now.
Yeah, Magic Johnson's lived forever with it. Yeah.
Right? There's a couple of treatments now that people feel work or whatever. However, in California, I mean, this is a life-changing event, right?
Oh yeah.
You get HIV, life-changing event. Okay? But in California, it's against the law to ask somebody if they have AIDS before you have sex with them. And I guess it's not against the law to ask them, but you're not required to disclose if you have HIV before having sex with somebody.
No, you can
And
get murder
you
or
can't be
manslaughter.
sued.
People
No, you
catch it.
can't. They changed it. The law has been
I know.
passed.
I
That-
know.
But you can't be. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But you could be charged for homicide.
nope,
If you knew.
not in California.
Really.
Yep.
Then
No.
the cases that they had were all returned.
I don't know. The year and a half ago,
Yeah,
they changed it.
Death penalty too.
Um,
So what is that? Why is those people helping society? What do they do when they purposely have a disease or might have disease, and then we have to maybe get it and suffer and die, and they just get to just do whatever the fuck they want? Sorry, morning stream. Sorry.
To
I
me,
don't want people I don't want the ACLU people keep backing those people. It's like they're not helping anybody.
so for me, it's not a matter of those people that are misbehaving are necessarily right. And I think this is where people are. So I might kill somebody I get in my car. I might kill somebody if I fart, according to the butterfly
If you're
effect.
purposely doing that, like person when I run someone in a crosswalk, then you get punished.
Sure.
If you purposely know you have AIDS and you have sex with somebody, you're a bad person. If you purposely have COVID or think you have COVID, you want to cough on the guy behind the register because you want to buy a lighter, the wrong lighter, you shouldn't just gonna walk away and it's okay. While we're all in the store going, oh my god, is this person for real? What is going on here? I don't want people to keep backing like it's okay. It's like it's not okay.
I'm not
I
saying
think
it's.
all Americans. I've lived abroad in other countries. All Americans should live abroad for a year.
Oh, I
Their whole
agree with
mindset
that.
is totally different. Because we are so catered to this narrow thing of it's just about me bullshit. And for me, I'm like I gotta think about everybody else around me. I can be a selfish jerk and just think about me only and say whatever. I catch it, I catch it. I don't care. I'm not gonna wear this thing. It's uncomfortable. My breath's hot under it. That's just me being just stupid personally. Go ahead, man.
What do you want, forehand? Before I
Well,
address all this.
all I was going to think was that there are people who think that it's okay for them to drink and drive and they shouldn't be arrested and have to suffer a penalty for drunk driving. Yet, if they get out and accidentally kill one of your family members, then would you feel like, well, it's okay, he should have gone ahead, he had the right not to, to be arrested
there's a
for
big
being
difference.
drunk driving just because he had a couple of beers. And
All
it
right.
just makes the judgment a little bit off.
So here's the difference. People are trying to compare apples to oranges. And again, I did it too in the sense of saying, well, people get killed with this, right? So I'm not going to say that there's the only blame here. However, you're talking about the government forcing you to purchase something and wear something. Right? Nobody is forcing that drunk driver to have a car, get in the car, and drive.
But this is the pandemic. It's not a normal situation. It's not like just like when
Sure
they say,
it
"Hey,
is.
everybody gotta wear masks now." But why?
But
Just because we want you to.
here's-
Like, there's a pandemic going on.
here's
Then
one
we
other
can't
thing.
hear it.
Well, Sam,
one
you
other
just
thing.
answered your own question.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
the government says if you have a drink, do not drive.
No, the government
They
doesn't
say
say
if
that.
you
The government
drive
says
and
if
you've
you
had
go
a
past
drink-
this area.
Compared,
If you go past this area. Also, those laws are not national laws. Those are state laws. And again, when the state passes a law through the legislature, then it's a different story. These governors are arbitrarily making these decisions and signing in pseudo laws or directives. It's not their job. It's not their job to do that stuff. But here's the ultimate question, because someone goes, where do you see this conversation going? And I'm gonna put this out here for you guys. So let's say tomorrow they're currently doing live tests on a coronavirus vaccine.
yeah, doing 30,000.
It's not
July 27th.
not tested on animals, not going through the full rigors, straight to people. Okay? Are you going to go take that vaccine?
My answer is I already gave you my answer. The answer is that I will wait and see, but I will not take that first
So
dose.
so you're going to wait and see.
But I will stay
Beloved?
locked up in my house too.
That's fine.
I'll
Beloved?
be precautionary also.
So you're not going to take the first thing. So here's the thing. They're saying we'll be lucky if the vaccine is 60% effective. Right? They're literally coming out saying that. If we can get it to 60% effective, we're going to be extremely lucky. Most vaccines aren't that high. They're also saying only about 20% of the population is going to take the vaccine. So what are we waiting for? The only way through this pandemic the only way forward is through. So we were asked to isolate and stay at home so the hospitals had time to adjust to get ready. The curve is the same. The number of people that are going to get sick from the coronavirus is not going to change. It's just a matter of how long of a time. So instead of having, let's say, 10 million people, and this is not necessarily the number, but let's pretend. Instead of there being 10 million people sick in the first 3 months, instead we're going to have 10 million people sick over the year. Right? That was the mission. That was the goal, was to get people to be able to, so the hospitals have enough room to treat people. And now that they're set up and they're working, the hospitals are doing a fabulous job. And the hospitals are going through a lot of extra steps. They're doing a lot of things to try to cut things down. So they have specific wards for COVID. They're doing all this stuff. Same kind of stuff that they go through every year for the flu, by the way. But we never think about that because we're used to having 30 to 60,000 Americans die every year because of the flu. The difference is that all these deaths, right? All these deaths are people that are in high-risk categories. As opposed to the flu, it's across the board.
Not all. That one guy was 30 years old and healthy.
Everyone's an outlier. You know, every once in a while somebody's going to lose.
So that's the problem. Everybody thinks that they're that one that's not going to catch it, right?
No, not everyone. I'm not saying that at all. And you should think that, because otherwise you live your life in a pessimistic, terrible psychological nightmare. No, what I'm saying is that, wait a minute, where's this at? It said it was far up here, but
Sam,
down here it's not there.
I have never heard of the flu killing 60,000 people in the last, I'm going to say 30 years.
Huh.
I'm not talking about the Spanish flu. Spanish flu wiped out almost, 20% of the population? But we talking about how it worked and how it did. It came back a second time. The second year that came around, it's the one that killed everybody, where we had the wagons just going down the street, bring out your dead, but not even bury these people. Didn't even take them to funeral homes or have service for them. They took them out and destroyed the bodies. Now that was here, my local state. My grandfather told me the story. I told you the story about them coming down the street. You knew when they were coming down the street, you wrapped your family members in sheets and you took them out and you drug them to the end of the road and your driveway and put them at the road, and the wagon would come by and just throw all the bodies. They didn't check to see what their names were or anything. And that's just the way it was. That could happen here, even now. COVID may be COVID may be our Spanish flu for this decade. Same, look at when we're talking about the Spanish flu hit in the 1920s, 1919s, 1920s. Okay, now let's put it up to the day. What about today? Here it is. It's now. We have COVID. Well, COVID isn't that bad. You just said we already have. How many died in the United States so far from the COVID? Over 100,000. Okay,
Yes.
That's already three times many as people that's died from the flu. That's 3 years of flu all at once. And we're just talking about just America. We're not talking third world countries. They don't keep the number of deaths. So we don't know how bad this is. When this thing may be over for the first year, we may look at a full population of 1 year exposure may reach as many as 2 million people. Maybe next year it will be 20 million people. So we don't know. People are like in Russia, they don't tell how many people have got it. They keep that a secret. That's just politics. We don't know how many people has died in China. We hope that they're telling us, well, they haven't really had that many deaths. They're probably covering up so many deaths. Whole cities wiped out, but they don't want that out. They don't want the world to panic. Even our government would not want the world to know how many people have actually died.
So 2018 had 80,000 Americans die of the flu.
Was that the Spanish flu?
In 2018? No. It was not the Spanish flu.
Which flu was, and how many, that's in America only?
That's in the U.S. According to the Associated Press, September 26, 2018, 80,000 people died of the flu last winter in the United States. Highest death toll in 40 years.
Okay,
so 2 years ago, 80,000 people died of the flu. Okay? Now, to address your argument of 120,000 people died, or 140,000 people died of the flu. Okay? What is it? Like 40,000 or something of those deaths happened in New York City. And out of that, well over 80% of those deaths were specifically retirement communities where once people were confirmed to have COVID, the governor's orders issued those people or forced those people back into retirement communities, which are the most vulnerable people. They were literally sent to kill each other in these retirement communities thanks to government policies. So instead of letting these people stay at the hospital or even go home to their families, they were sent to die because of Chris Cuomo.
Yep.
Okay?
Well,
so if you shave
hospitals, but what about the people that were that had to be put on the medical ships from the United States government out in the harbor?
The ones that never got full?
Why did they open up these clinics out in these fields?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. If the hospitals were able to take care of these people, because the hospital couldn't take care of them.
No, the hospitals never were overwhelmed. Even in New York City, they were never overwhelmed. But they were prepared for it because we want to take care of our people. Right? We want to.
Yeah.
So they sent ships, they set up field hospitals, they did everything. And then you see these people out there, well, what did the administration do? Well, the administration said, states, you're the best on the ground to take care of this. We'll support you the best we can. I'm going to send a boat to the city that's got the medical boat to the city that's got the most deaths. And we're going to set up field hospitals. And then if you need a supply, we'll get it to you. Not one person said they didn't get the supplies they asked for. Not one. But yet, what's the news media saying right now?
Well, I can tell you this, Cedars-Sinai is at max capacity and overflow.
Sure. That
So
one hospital.
She's not allowed to go there, so you don't even go near that place. Just think of the babies.
One hospital.
COVID baby last week.
And that baby will likely be fine. Maybe not.
It's tested negative so far. 3 times a week they do it. Tested negative. It's like 2 weeks old.
I'm just gonna carry on this way and see if I can figure out where this last thing is. My point is that
Tammy said within a 2-week span, it just went through the roof. Cases.
yeah, and when you're looking at cases, it will, because we're testing more. We know what we're looking for now, and again, as we already talked about, depending on which test you're getting, it's a weird positive situation or a weird situation where you're getting all these like positive tests that may or may not be actual cases or may or may not actually be correct. So again, the problem is you have to get herd immunity to be able to get through this kind of stuff. And whether that herd immunity is either gathered through people spreading it or people taking a vaccine or a virus or not a virus, a vaccine or a booster or whatever you want to call it. Like, because that's what happens with the flu, right? People take their shot.
I take it every year.
You take it every year. So, like, you are adding into the artificial rising of the herd immunity, right? I don't take the flu shot because I honestly don't feel like it ever works.
I got the flu all the time. So I take a shot 6 years ago. I have not had any of that.
Yeah, I've always been the other case. Like, I normally don't get the flu, or if I do get it, it's very mild. And then I took the flu shot for 3 years in a row, and I got it worse than I ever had it before. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just not going to do this.
And my mom was saying she was like at 2 or 3% that can get the side effects or whatever it was.
And I feel like those are medical decisions that I'm in charge of. I get to choose my things like that. Just like I get to choose whether or not I go to eat at McDonald's, or whether or not I have this diet or that diet, or how it affects my health. And I get to make decisions to the best of my ability to take care of other people's health, like whether or not I drink and drive, or whether or not I, go out there and have risky intercourse. These are my decisions to make. And I'm not necessarily saying that you should make a different one, because I feel like a lot of these decisions are pretty safe, pretty normal for people. But at the same time, like, it's not the government's job to force those kind of decisions on you. Medical improvements over the decades make my wagon argument not accurate. My wagon argument not. Okay, I'm gonna.
He's talking about the bodies in the wagons during the.
Oh, forehand
Remember
argument.
hitting Kansas too. Remember, like in the military base in Kansas, people were out doing stuff. They didn't know they had it, and it turned out to just be the normal flu. We think the vaccine stopped it. Polio, smallpox, same thing. Smallpox ran rampant. You're like, I don't want to take the vaccine. Well, everybody else is getting cured of it. You want to be the one to take it?
Then they did. That was their decision, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. But I just want the best shot.
Sure,
If it's shot, I'm taking it.
I want people to have the best option that they decide. I am and always will be a libertarian-minded person when it comes to stuff like this. The idea of the government does not have the right in the United States, my government does not have the right to force me to purchase something, wear something, or control my day-to-day life. That is how I feel, and that is what I will argue for. Other people, they don't agree.
I think that's fine, but I think when special circumstances arise, like I said, aliens come down and land with weapons.
That is
all gonna be like, oh, let's fight Iran. No, everybody's gonna be team up together. Like, hey, man,
that is
we gotta save it.
Unified external threat that we can all identify and agree. Are you going to tell me that there's not going to be anybody there who's going to be like, hey, man, these aliens are great. Maybe we should negotiate or make peace with them, or
Russia, China, maybe, who knows, right?
Yeah, so you're saying why can't these people agree?
Going around, we should all be on the same page.
Will we though? Even if aliens, we might not be on the same page. Right? You might have a bunch of people say, "Oh, we should just surrender and have and we should just welcome our new alien overlords."
I'm saying they come down, they start being aggressive, like they're gonna.
Yeah. And tell me, there's not going to be a group of people out there who's not going to say, "Oh, I for one welcome my new alien overlords."
That's what's wrong with humanity. It's like you shouldn't. It should be like, it's our planet. Let's.
So you should.
As long as we can.
You should be willing to fight for the things that you feel are correct.
I've had to yell at my mom's neighbor. I was visiting my mom. I had to yell at them again. These kids next door. I told them again. I said, stop bringing your girlfriends over the house. Stop partying in front of the house drinking beer with 20 or 30 of you. When you have neighbors that one is elderly, other one is here. And I told them, nice as I could be. And last time I told them, they stopped because I had to be a little more forthright. So they stopped. But shouldn't have to take me to be that guy. For them to just be careful and respect your neighbors.
Well, like for example, we were driving home from dinner the other day. We went out to eat with LJ, and we went past the parking lot to get to the interstate from where we ate at, and there was like five cars, people sitting down, talking, hanging out, doing stuff outside in the parking lot, just hanging out. Across the street we have the power company, like headquarters or whatever. My wife's like, yeah, the other day I noticed there's like 4 cars out there and people were just sitting in lawn chairs in the parking lot hanging out. And it's like, why? It's because they're being forced to not go to the places they should go. The people who are young and relatively healthy, let them go get together. Let them get it. Let it spread them around. Let that herd immunity build up, right? Let the population get it and float through and burn through the population, and protect the people that are at risk. You know, people like you, specifically both of you, people like your moms or your wives or you know what I mean? Like, protect those people who are at risk. But let the people who are statistically low risk that are willing to take the risk. That's the other thing. They're willing to take the risk. Like, if I'm like, you know what, I don't want to wear this mask, I'm willing to take the risk, then why are you telling me I can't? It's not your business. Right? Alright. Still too far away. I'm going to have to figure out where this is at.
Real quick. So when I took my mom back home last month, I talked to those neighbor kids and they stopped. They went other places. Well, next door to the other side of mom, a new lady lives there. So I was outside smoking a cigarette by the tree. She came out and said, "Sir, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you something?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Can you smoke on the other side or something?" I said, "Okay." She's like, "My daughter has asthma, super bad, very bad, and this whole thing going on." I said, "Ma'am, I will never smoke in this area again. You have my word." I could have been a dick and be like, "It's my right.
Sure.
I do what I want to do. Screw your kid, lady." I'm like, but no, I'm like, she has a child, I could respect that. I could smoke somewhere else.
Sure.
It's fixed. No harm, no foul, right? But I could have been a jerk and just been like, whatever, and it caused conflict, caused problems. But why? For what?
Sure.
Doesn't gain nothing. Gains nothing.
And now somebody brought their problem to you one-on-one, handled it with grace. You handled it with grace back. Right?
I was like, I understand, man, not a problem.
And that's great. And that's great. However, how would you feel if they're like, they went to the government and the government was like, all right, well, we're just going to outlaw smoking in your state.
Pass the law. See if everybody votes for it.
Oh, but no, the governor just signs an order into place.
Then it's fine. I'll smoke in my house.
Oh, no, it's just not allowed in the state.
But they can't see me smoke in the house.
Why? But it's against the law.
Doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
That's about me myself. I'm not out there doing it to hurt anybody else. I'm just doing it in my own house.
Sam, I know laws that are in the state. I think some still in your area. There's a law that says that you can't spit on the sidewalk.
Or drink. Some counties are drinking. You can't drink in the county.
No, I'm serious. Because that was the way that they found out that they were spreading tuberculosis, because that kids wore no shoes in the summer, and so they found out if somebody had tuberculosis would spit out, it could infect a kid who's out there barefooted. So that's where they passed these stupid little laws. But you know, that their point of view.
Were they passed, or were they signed into order by somebody who doesn't have the authority?
Signed in by the federal government, because that was never a federal law. But there was a law in certain states that they did pass that law.
So federalism kicked into play. Federalism, the best. I love it.
I said it wasn't a federal law.
Yeah. Well, my point is are these laws just something that was kind of like, I don't want to say arbitrarily, but were they something that a governor just like handed down on high? Or was it something that was voted in by?
Actually sign any laws without the state representatives to vote on it, which means that people from each of the counties would have something to say into it. And so to pass any state laws the same way. Federal laws cannot be passed without going through the Senate or Congress, both. And that is a representative of those states or local zones.
So as far as I'm
that
concerned,
may have more people in a state. Certain states may have 16 delegates that may be voting on something that's going to affect people who only have 3.
What am I missing? If it's
their
close,
state because of the population. So sometimes the minority is not always representative in our government.
Well, the minority
as far as laws.
I found
majority is sometimes by may not be always the right way because
all right, hang on a minute.
Affect that state.
Did you guys know that this could be here? I've never seen it here before. How many times did we go past this? Like 3 times looking for this stupid thing? To add this to the list of places that it could be in my mind. I don't think I've ever seen it there before. Alright.
Yeah, I got attacked off the ship, so I'm just sitting on the ground. Just killing random stuff.
It's fine. I don't know. Again, to me, I know I've been very specific about this, and I'm not telling people that don't wear a mask. I'm not telling people you have to wear a mask. I'm just saying I don't like the idea that the federal government force you to do it. I honestly don't like the idea that the state government can do it. But I had no problems with, and by no problems I mean other than the fact that it really messes with me personally, no problems with the city ordinance. Right? To me that makes a lot of sense. City wants to do it, county wants to do it, I'm on board. Because to me that's, my voice is heard, people should be able to recognize it, etc. Okay? So, all that stuff being said, I still don't think it's a good idea.
That's fine.
That's good.
And
because that you're doing both things. You're literally showing that this country has freedom of speech, that you can say, I disagree with this law. And nobody's going to
again, it's not a law.
Throw you in jail for you disagreeing.
Yes.
But they could, if you have a law that states you can't do this, and you uphold that law, which you said you would, then nobody's going to arrest you anyway for it. I mean, you could tell people, I disagree with you, but I will do it just because it is the law. It means that you show respect for what other people have set up for protection of, like you said, it might be only a minority of people who will ever catch this flu and die from it. But the states have to look at it. I got to protect that one individual.
They do not.
100,000.
They do not. That is not their job.
You don't. Why isn't it?
Their job is to set the tone for the general public health and general public good. It is not their responsibility to watch out for one person's individual decisions.
Okay.
And it's not not their job.
Say that that people feel that way, like you're doing it right now.
Because the
Then
next thing
would
you know,
we-
no, hang on.
Why-
The next thing you know, the states are going to be able to say, sorry, if you weigh 25 pounds overweight, you have to start jogging every day. Because they're saving those people's lives, right?
Well, yes and no. Because that
The
it's
answer
more
is
than
no.
that.
The
My,
answer is no.
wife
It is
pays
none of their
higher-
bloody
My
business.
wife pays higher premiums on her insurance because she is overweight.
Yes,
I
I
pay
voluntarily.
I pay less insurance because I'm underweight. But the thing of it is, they say you're a high risk. If we don't increase your rates, because we're going to have higher medical rates, that's the reason that we're increasing them. But your husband doesn't have it. But I have spent more time in the hospital than my wife has because of my heart. But that had
Sure,
nothing to do
because
with it.
you're looking at
But
the
the thing
macro.
of-
You're not looking at the big picture.
But so that our government maybe don't get involved, but some way it's involved. You being overweight, the insurance company says, well, you're a high risk. You're going to have more like diabetes. You're going to have more like a heart attack. You're going to have medical things. So let's go ahead and let's collect our money because we can't go broke. We have to make money so we can pay out money. That's the way their model goes. So there is no this state regulation
Right.
on what an insurance company can charge people. And I love that thing about you're going to lose your job now, and we're going to lay you off, but don't worry, if you're going to have insurance, and you get this COBRA insurance, which is a federal sponsored insurance that's going to help you because you won't get it. Have you checked the price code? When I got COBRA, my company was paying for both me and my wife. We're paying $600, $620 a month for insurance. When I got laid off and COBRA kicked in, the first bill they sent me, just for me, not my wife, was $1,157. That's affordable insurance according to the federal government. And I'm sitting there saying, no, that's insane. that is no way that I could afford that. I had no money coming in. You know, get laid off your job, you don't have money coming in, you got to pay your insurance in case medical problems come. That's not affordable insurance because the government doesn't regulate it. They got a guy out there that says, "Oh, I'll give these people that are high risk insurance," and they charge you for that crazy thing.
It's exactly the opposite.
16 years.
It's so high because the government does regulate it.
I know, but 16 years he was in the military, and he gets laid off from his job, and he's not able to be in the military no more. And he goes out, and the first thing they give him is Cobra insurance, and they wanted $1,400 a month for him. And I says, go to the VA. Don't do this. Just go to the VA. Sign up for the VA right now. And he said, well, I'm not sick right now. I said, sign up for right now, because I said, you can't afford that insurance. You won't have no medical insurance. And I said, you do have a house that you got almost paid for. I said, they'll take it from you. I'll tell you. So he went up, signed up for the VA. 3 weeks later, he got sick, and he had to go into the VA. They put him in the hospital, and they paid the majority of it. He still had to pay out of his pocket, but not like $1,100 or $1,400. He was not going to have to pay out. So it's safety. There are conditions that do help the American public if we use those advantages. Like it says, one guy claims that he's filthy rich. He says, I pay less taxes because of the loopholes in the federal government than my secretary, who makes only about, I think she was making like $30,000 a year, and he's making like $40 million a year.
So he's talking about percentage wise, right?
Yeah,
he's talking percentage wise, but he's still paying more than her salary in taxes a year. But because I make $40 million a year and I pay $3 million in taxes is not the same thing as someone who's making $90,000 a year.
Did you hear what I said? He said he pays less taxes than she did. That
right, percentage-wise.
Her taxes is for a person who makes $34,000 or $40,000 a year. Taxes would probably be what, maybe $4,000, $5,000.
It's roughly 25%.
He was making $40 million and paying less taxes than she did.
No, he was talking about as a percentage of his income.
No, he's not. He said he paid less taxes than she did.
That's incorrect.
That's the whole statement he made because of the loopholes in the federal government.
This is another part of the argument that drives me insane. The people that pay more than 90% of the taxes that actually, like by quantity, the people who pay 90% of the taxes in this country are in the quote-unquote 10% top earners in the bracket. Okay? If somebody's making $30,000, right, and that's his secretary, one, why is he paying his secretary $30,000? Two,
this was a couple of years back.
Two, I don't give a shite. If he's making $40 million and he's paying a less than a 25% income tax on it, he can afford to pay his secretary more. Two, when every time somebody talks about that stuff, they're talking about as a percentage of their income. As private citizens, most of us pay around 25%, give or take, plus or minus here or there. Okay? Which again, I feel is way too much in his malarkey. Okay? However, his 25 or he might be doing some loopholes and some stuff like that to keep more of his money and get it down to 18%, which is roughly the number that most of those millionaires and billionaires seem to get it to. However, 18% on $40 million versus 25% on $30,000. That's a massive difference. That is massive. He is not paying less. He's paying a smaller percentage. But when people look at it like that, they can make those kind of statements. And you're talking about... I know which guy you're talking about because I remember reading the article when he said it.
You should know his name.
I,
He was president of, he was the governor of New York for a while.
Yeah, it's there.
And he was making the statement, this 10 years ago, he talked about how many loopholes there was.
There's a bunch of loopholes.
He was allowed, like, he says, I get to write off taxes for homes. I throw parties, and because of political people there, or a company that has a president president or vice president there, my taxes, according by the law, by description, he says, I can write the whole thing off. He says, I take a trip somewhere. If I go out and one person comes over and asks me one thing about my business or can I get a job, my lawyers say, hey, guess what? We're writing that off on taxes because that becomes business now. And he says it's crazy. That shouldn't be allowed. And he's the one that's
what do you mean it's not
complaining.
allowed?
He's the one that's complaining about how many loopholes that these lawyers can find that's in the tax code that you can get that they're not available for the average person.
See, they're still available. They're still available. You can still use them. You just don't have the arsenal of people to do it or the will to do it.
Yeah, we're not paying $250,000 for lawyers each year just to take care of our taxes, which is another write-off for
V-Love, you coming to this quest?
But our government...
Hang on. V-Love, are you coming to this quest? Are you still there?
Hello? Did he take a break?
I don't know. He's still in the game. He's still in the voice chat. He might just be busy. Alright, I'm going to assume that he is not going to join us for the quest. So, again, you're talking about someone saying, oh, I took advantage of the system. And there's an argument for saying I shouldn't be able to take care of the system, or I shouldn't take advantage of it. But you're like, but you did. So how can you get on your soapbox and tell me, yeah, he's in the 12 still. How can you get on your soapbox and tell me that this is wrong when you're taking advantage of the system that you're preaching against? Now, I'm a person who says there should be a flat tax, and it should probably be a sales tax, and it should probably be something like 2% sales tax on everything across the board. That's what I feel. So
that's what our state does, but it's 10%.
I don't think it needs to be that high at the federal level. But I'm a person that believes in a flat tax. I don't think it's a good idea to tax income. I think that's wrong. In my mind, you tax something as a penalty. So why are you taxing income? Why are you taxing property? Like, these are things that don't make sense to me. If I understand the government needs to have money to do certain things, and the federal government right now is really going to need money in the coming years because everybody for the last, I guess since Clinton, if I'm going to be really honest, has spent money like it's fallen out of their bum. Clinton, I think, was the last president in the United States to actually get the budget balanced. I don't think it was really his doing, but he ran to the center hard to get reelected, and it worked. Like, you run to the center and you get the budget balanced, you get reelected. Sorry, that's how it's presidential campaigning 101. And so give Clinton his due, but like he's the last one who had spending under control. We have had a spending problem in the United States for the last almost 30 years. That's not right. 20 years? 23 years?
It has been a long time since Clinton was president.
Well, we had Bush, Obama, and now Trump, so 20 years. But we have a spending problem. We don't have an income problem. We have a spending problem. Because nobody gets mad if you're going to fund their project. No one doesn't get reelected when their local thing gets government funding. But people get real mad, and people don't win elections if you cut funding or cut a program or close a military base. Right? Anyhow, Samus Grobo, is there anything this dude is happy about in his life or complaining about the world does not meet his utopian views? Forehand, other than your wife, is there anything you're happy about?
Well, remember, I started this conversation being the devil's advocate.
He did.
Not meaning that I believe in things that I'm yakking about. I'm just talking about things that are cast out in the news or things that have been written in books and magazines and other people's opinion. My opinion doesn't count. I'm just trying to be the devil's advocate to keep people thinking. If you don't think about these what we're talking about, discussions, disagreements, this is actually an argument, then maybe you're part of the problem, because you do need to get involved in these things. Everybody needs to speak out and speak up and say, hey, I disagree with this. And if the majority of the public disagrees with the current laws, work on those laws, change those laws, make those laws available for everybody.
I know how
so
hard it is to get a law off the book once it's in there, though.
Well, some of the things
Almost
that
impossible.
we're talking about the laws making you wear a mask. But the thing of it
That's
is that
a city ordinance. It's not the same, but carry on.
but you can get rid of the mayor.
The mayor voted against it.
Well, the mayor. Okay, then the city council, or I guess is what it'd be then.
He
You
lost
vote those out.
4-1. He was the only dissenting
Either thing,
vote.
the people that you disagree with next year, you don't have to vote for them.
Well, that's
You
exactly
can actually
right.
run against them. You could actually say, hey, I'm going to run against you because your policies are stupid. And so now you've taken a stand. You actually showed that you're not going to be part of the. There was an old saying: if you're not part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. So if you're not working for a solution to try to make it better, then you're part of that problem. And that's what I'm trying to say to everybody out there. I'm not saying that Sam's wrong on anything he said. I probably agree with most of the things he said. But the thing of it is that these things has to be debated on both sides. You have to have the delegate to come in there and say, okay, this is the disadvantage. This is what I see that people are talking about. So then you got to speak up yourself, So that's all I can say,
There you go. See, and that's one of the reasons we keep him around.
That's the only reason you keep me around is because that I get to be the devil's advocate.
That's usually my job. No, I think it's really easy when having a discussion to focus on just the negative aspects of the discussion in particular, or on your side, or whatever. It's easy to get focused in on those things. So, like, having somebody who's willing to take the other side, take the hits, especially in a place that's potentially unpopular, like it could be here on my stream or someplace else, but like, you don't get a lot of discussions elsewhere. That's one of the things that makes this, I personally feel, makes this stream special compared to like a lot of other streams or a lot of other places. It did. I mean, I watched the viewer numbers go up and down and up and down. I fully admit it. I watched them go up and down while we were having this discussion. And I try to keep up reading the chat. I'm not always saying that I read it. I mean, I read it, but I didn't always necessarily comment on it, especially when some of them got a little lengthy. But you guys, we can share things here. That, to me, that is the main thing. Sharing points of view, sharing discussion, not just on DDO. Like, we can all agree how much we love DDO and we dislike certain things that's happening or whatever. But being able to have a safe place that you can stop and share your ideas and your input and stuff like that, as long as you're being respectful. Which, again, that's the other thing. Forehand, I never told him to shut up. I never yelled at him. I never, we had a discussion because those are the rules. Where I go on Facebook, I saw a great video, an amazing video yesterday. A guy took wore a mask that they use for dirt bike racing. So he wore it around town and stuff, and went and did some shopping and whatnot. Not one person had a problem with his mask. Not one person. But it's a fully wired mask. It didn't impede his breathing at all. And he's like, it's not about health. It's about control. You can always offer a point of view. You can always put it in the text box. However, I shared that video, right? I shared the video. I'm like, this guy was awesome. I didn't endorse the idea. I did, however, say I might have to look into getting that mask. You know what I mean? But I didn't say it was a good idea. I didn't say it was a bad idea. But I agreed that it was about, to me, it was about thinking outside the box. Right? Not in the rules, as Tobrell would say. Like, they don't specify. They don't demand. They can't tell me what kind of mask to wear, etc., etc. This guy found a great loophole. And I can respect somebody for making or finding it and making it an interesting decision like that. But boy, my friends on Facebook, right? I see my friends on Facebook talking about, you know, shutting up, wearing your mask, doing your part. One of my best friends, one of my best friends in the world, love this guy. Would do anything for him. Literally, would do anything for him. My wife shared some information about the negative aspects of wearing a mask. He started attacking her. And it's like, why? Why are you know who she is. It's not like, oh, well but yada yada yada. Now mom's got to step in. Like if I refer to Trump as dad had to step in and fix the problem, are you going to throw a fit? Because he's posted all this stuff about people getting arrested in Portland. Should I make a comment on there about how dad's stepping in because the state can't get their stuff together? Do you think he would be quite so peaceful about that? So to me, I think a lot of people they have this politicalization going on in their head, and they just shut you down. So being able to have a place where you can talk, realize that we have a common ground, in this case a video game where we can all talk about stuff like that, I feel like it really helps us see other people's points of views in a way that a lot of other people out there don't. Did anyone watch last night's Portland protest? I have not. All I know is if you're protesting past when the average citizen in your city is going to bed, what are you doing? You're not protesting. We have protests here, and they're scheduled, and they are during the day. They're during the day, inside like a normal. They're usually in the evenings, but they're done before 10. Why? Because our town basically shuts down at 10. Why are you guys out protesting till 1 o'clock in the morning? Why are you out protesting till 2 in the morning? That's not protesting. I have a viewer who's become really active in the Discord, actually. I have a political section of the Discord chat. And I prefer to stay in there. This way, people who voluntarily stick their head into the political chat, because via text and stuff like that, it can get a little bit more personal. But he was like, I was out at the protest and started telling the story. I was protesting, and a couple of young men came up to me and started asking if I was a cop, harassing me. They wouldn't get over the fact that they thought I was a cop. They just they threatened violence and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, yeah, why are you out at 2 o'clock in the morning protesting? Not protesting at that point. But it doesn't always kick in there. Sounds like a party. It does kind of sound like a party. We Canadians know how to protest. LOL. I guess so. Out there, late at night.
I'm in a state that requires helmets, and of course, a lot of the bikers in this area, they're health angels and other things, and so cop pulled one over and says, "Okay, the law states you got to wear a helmet." He says, "I got a helmet. That's what it says." He says, "You don't have a helmet on your head." He says, "It's on my kneecap." And he looks down. He had a helmet tied to his kneecap. He says, "That's all the law requires is for me to have a helmet on."
That's correct.
It doesn't say that I have to have it on my head. Ingenuity, and let me tell you something. There's a lot of bikers that started wearing helmets on their heads. I mean, on their
well, that's
kneecap.
just it. That's again, when you rules lawyering is a thing, not just in video games. It's in real life too. I don't know, that ties in really nice back to the guy with the mask, the wire mask. I think it's just a matter of, is it their responsibility? I don't think it's their responsibility to force you to wear a helmet or wear a seatbelt. I really don't. I wear a seatbelt and I wear a helmet because it is the law, and it's not a bad idea, you know. But I don't think it's a law. I don't think it should be a law. I think that's there's a term, nanny state. To me, it feels like a nanny state situation. Like you're saying you are incapable of knowing how to take care of yourself, so we're going to step in and take care of you. Like, I don't need you to take care of me. I don't need a mom. I had a mom. I don't need a dad. I have a dad. You know? If you have some advice, I'll listen to it. And to me, that's the problem. That is the crutch for me. Like, it's not your job to determine my safety or my family's safety. That's my job. It's my job. Even before you required us to wear masks, the person who went out in high-risk situations wore a mask. We basically were, I don't want to say self-isolating, but we were basically doing that anyway. We were doing that before you asked us to do it. And we were asked to do it for 15 days to slow the spread. Like, we always kept in mind the goal, right? We knew what the goal was. Now the goal has shifted. It's not good, right? Like, how does that make sense? Now we're gonna stop the disease by staying at home? No, that's not how that's gonna work. Anyway, laws are made to help the government make more money. Yeah, there's some of that for sure. Some of that for sure. My grandma had to get her doctor note against wearing a seatbelt. At 4 feet tall, the belt goes to her neck. Yeah. Yeah, that's... I'm surprised they didn't just make her get a booster seat. Like an adult-sized booster seat.
Sam, don't give me any ideals, please.
I'm serious. That sounds exactly like something a government person would say. And I'm not saying that there's not a group of people out there who go into government and do things for the right reasons. I feel like the problem is, you know, that whole thing about power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. I feel like there's a lot of that. I feel people go into government with good intentions and then... And the cores are not the same.
You could look it up because I don't know. But was it a politician that says the only time that a politician's not lying is when he's not talking?
I don't know who.
Or was that by Mark Twain? I forgot.
Probably
Somebody
Mark Twain.
famous did that.
Sounds like a Mark Twain quote to me.
Yeah.
It feels like something that somebody would say, which is... I don't necessarily know if that's true because, again, I feel like most politicians go into it with a noble intent.
I do too.
I just feel like
I think that people that goes into politics have the best intentions to do it, and once they get in there, of course, I always argue with my wife that because you heard my opinion. I said you go in there with the best intent, but you get in and you find out nobody's with you, and if you're not get the majority of it does no good. And I said that there's a guy running for a Senate who says, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to change this law, and this law's going to be changed, and this is not... I said, you'll never get that passed because the majority won't do it unless you start doing things for them. Give me some pork, give me some beef, help me get this military base or get this contract for new jobs in my area and things like that. And then you start sleeping with the devil, as the old saying goes, to get something done, even if it's good.
Well, that's just it. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, right?
Yes. And we're not being sarcastic about... There are people that are very righteous who try to do the best, and just...
Well, so, like, again, from my point of view, I'm a big Rand Paul guy. Like, I don't agree with everything he says, for sure, but his arguments are almost always based around the idea of personal liberty and personal responsibility. So, like, to me, I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of it's up to you. It's your right and your privilege as as a human being to figure out your life. But for a lot of people, that's not the case. You're not making the right decision. Here, let me make the right decision for you. I give my friends advice all the time. It's like, hey man, if it was me, I would do X, Y, Z. They don't listen. But if the shoe was on the other foot, and I just like, no, this is what you're doing now, how would they feel about that? They'd probably be really upset. Speaking of upset, we're getting close to quitting time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say. It's almost 2 o'clock. And this will be, at 2 o'clock, it'll be hour 36 of my fast, so I am going to make something to eat very soon.
I'd like to say one other thing. If I offended anybody, I apologize. Please, don't take what I say or truthful or anything like that.
You don't apologize for hurting someone's...
I do. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
You don't want to, it's fine. You don't want to, it's fine. But if someone has given you the power to offend them, that's on them, that's not on you. Okay? And that's the truth for everything. If you learn one thing from this stream ever, learn that. For Forehand to offend you, you gave him that power to offend you with his comments. Because only you can give someone the power to offend you. And that's just the truth. If I offend you, I also, not my intention. And I think that's what Forehand's trying to say. It's not his intention. But if you give me the power to hurt your feelings, that's on you. We don't intend it. We recognize that it happens, but we don't intend it. Alright, let's be here. They make people with heart issues or lung issues wear them and pay for them for the doctor to fill out to be able to not use it. Yet they should only need medical card or bracelets to show they have the issue. Oh, for seatbelts. Yeah, I don't disagree. I feel like, again, there's a lot of overreach. But it's the world we're in right now. And the thing is we're clamoring for it. And I don't necessarily mean myself or Forehand or you guys, but people in general, they are screaming for somebody to be in charge of them. I think about that speech from Loki in the Avengers. It feels true. It feels true to me. We scream to be ruled. We scream for it right now. I'm like, I don't want to be ruled. That's not the job that I want from somebody. I want to be able to make my own decisions. And I don't want to sit there and be like, okay, well, the speed limit's 1,000 now. Like, I understand you have to have some limitations for public good and public health, but then go through the legal system. Pass a law. Get the votes. Make it happen. Alright. Let's end the stream on a positive note. And not Bard. Let's take our 4th Warlock level.
I just got you taking a level 2.
Fancy. Was it a Warlock level?
No, Wizard.
A Wizard level. That sounds hot. Alright, so we definitely want no, not UMD. We definitely want our Spellcraft and our Perform. These are our 2 important ones. So we get 1 point. We can UMD, but our UMD is currently 41 with our 6 points in it. That's probably going to change eventually, but for now, that's probably fine. That should give us heal scrolls. Yeah, no, screw it. We're going to put it in UMD, I think. Alright, we get some sweetness here. We get a feat. Our base attack bonus is 6, so it's not high enough to take the improved critical. We're not going to wear heavy armor. So, and now that Forehand's here, maybe he can double check my math for me. I believe I can run maximize spell, and that should affect my aura damage, I think.
I have not run a warlock in so long, and I used to run them all the time. I think it does. I know that evocation is one of the things that you definitely want to be investing into.
Why? So they could save against my thing?
So they can't save against your spray.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't. Does this have a save? Teague says yes. Yes to a million things. Yes. Yes to take maximize. So put like some sort of qualifier around your yeses. So let me see. I'm pulling up the Eldritch Blast, or pulling up the page here. Eldritch Blast, based off of spell power. So then I click on Eldritch Blast, and I read through Eldritch Blast. And it says spell power, but I don't. Yes on the maximize. Okay. We're going to give it a shot. Maximize. Alright, what's our class feat for warlocks here? I'm sure it's just like the spell or whatever, right? That we get for... Yeah, this one. +1 reflex saves. Alright. Now we get a spell. Do we want to start taking Blur? We take Blur, that frees up our bracers. I'm afraid I'm going to take Blur and it's just never going to get used. We can start taking Sleet Storm. That's probably the better choice. For what we're doing, let's have a vote. For those of you in the chat hanging out, Sleet Storm has a tendency to make this like difficult to view, but it is, however, a lot more safe, especially at level 10, to just spam ice Sleet Storm everywhere and then have like Featherfall boots on, or not Featherfall,
Freedom
movement boots on at 10. So is it better to be efficient, or is it better to be able to have a better stream quality for you guys? Like, I'm just asking for you guys watching the stream. What would you prefer when you're when you're actually watching the stream? Alright, Gore says no Sleet Storm. I'm inclined to lean that way as well. Otherwise, I wouldn't have posed the question. Forehand, what do you think? I know you don't actually watch the stream.
Yeah, I would go either way. I mean, I like Sleet Storm for some of the specs that it does for the quest. Definitely Bleeding with Freedom helps you make the character play better. I think the game, if you want to be honest, the whole purpose of your game is to teach people how to play better and to be better. So then I would say yes, take the Sleet Storm. But on the other hand, what I know.
Like I said, I just want to put out a high quality viewing experience for people. That's all. It looks like a lot of the people are saying no Sleet, or I'll go with the flow. So then that really leaves us with protection from energy, blur, or summon monster. I honestly don't know, because I suspect... maybe not. I was going to say, I suspect at 10 we're going to put on a Beacon of Magic set, but I don't think we are, actually. Because we're really a melee in disguise. Alright, we'll take Blur. I don't know what the likelihood is I'm going to remember to cast Blur, but we'll take it. And then also while we're here, it should be 3 hours by now, right? 25 more minutes. Okay. You win, DDO. You win. Alright, let's look at some gear stuff. Yeah, I mean, I made a big deal on it on the DDO cast recordings from yesterday. But, like, just having a permablur item is so important that I don't even cast it. I don't cast it. I don't cast... I don't cast the other spell. I don't cast displacement very often. Not what I'm looking for in here. At level 10, not level 10, sorry. At level 9, a lot of your scrolls come online. So I'm just going to start grabbing. I'm just going to grab this one now as well, even though we won't need it for a while.
I have had a problem in missing the one in Harp.
Mm-hmm.
The people won't give me the dialogue, so I found out after I got way into it, they're not allowing me to turn people that are mad, give them the sign. It hasn't been laid, but if you click on their character and highlight it and then hit the word use, then you get the dialogue and then you apply it.
You probably need to switch your weapons.
Okay.
Would be my guess.
Okay, try that. I mean, I figured out how to work it around it, but you know, I have never had this problem before. I've run this.
Yeah, it sounds like
character.
you've had a. Have you ever had the taking too many hits bug?
Yes.
That's what it sounds like to me. Alright, and then let's just check for level 9 things. And we could put on these black opal bracers if we're going to cast blur. I think the rest of that stuff's probably fine. Then I consider putting on the captain's chapeau because this one is greater false life concentration at level 7. But I think the memories of charity are just stronger for what we're doing right now.
Okay, just for future reference, since the changing of weapons does not activate it, so still using the word examine and then use the word use and that's working.
Okay. Well, that is strange.
Well, there's one place where I'm supposed to have the Taken in this quest, and they never did show up.
Did you talk to the guy at the beginning?
Yes.
I
mean, I've only had 2 characters which I was able to put the symbol madness on them with no problem, but then I've had 4 so far that have given me the option I could not talk to them at all, and I had to use the use to determine it.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I said, I almost never do that at all, though. So it's possible it could be messed up for a long time. For me, that's like a 2-minute quest.
Yes, you guys who don't know it, you need to watch Sam do it. I do it the long way. Always have, always will.
Do I care about light damage? I don't think so. I mean, yes, we are doing light damage, but I just don't think I care. Do we want precision lenses instead of the Raven Eye set? I don't think so. It is close. Manslayer's great, but I feel like probably not. All right, I think that's probably fine for gear. Oh, these need to go back in the These are greater heroes and pots. They need to go back in the chest. Now that we can use scrolls. Then we'll go get some level 2 spell components. And I think that'll be a stream. I think that'll be good. I think I'll grab a little bit of cheese and make some bacon, and this is not where I parked my car. Well, cheese is, as long as you get good cheese, it's mostly fat, which is exactly what I am trying to eat, is mostly fat, which is why I'll probably, actually I need to break my fast with a little bit of protein. I might have a little bit of turkey while I wait for the bacon to cook, and then eat the, because they say break your fast with some protein. So I might do that. Yeah, there's a little bit of protein in cheese, but not as much as, that's mostly fats. Alright, is there anything else off the top of my head that's super important? I don't think so.
The time of your next broadcast.
Oh, we'll be back later this evening as usual. I was thinking about for for the game here in particular. Like, I was making sure we had plenty of heal scrolls, which we do. We have 97. Well, here's a goofy looking mother trucker. Slap him down. Look, compare our swords. This sword's bigger than my sword.
Everything's bigger than you.
Yeah,
Hey,
your ego
how
mostly.
you doing, man?
My hat's bigger than you. With the same hat, so it's not really.
Say I could go put that hat on. What's up for tonight? So I'm hoping tonight to get on hardcore, assuming that the lag has been resolved. If they continue to have the message up that lag is terrible, then I'm not going over there. I'll go over there to roll, but I'm not going to mess around. What?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Not bad. He posted a thing, Cordroman posted a thing again today about they're going to leave it up, but don't recommend playing.
Yeah, I read that off when we started the stream.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I know what else we haven't done. 17 minutes. What was that to, bro?
Is it probably not a good idea?
Yeah. Alright, so we have one action point. We gotta get to 20 over here, because we want Brilliance. Brilliance is like the thing that finishes this build up really nice. So I guess we'll just become immune to fear. Seems okay, right? Aura of Courage. Just keep toggling on all these random powers. Sooner or later, one of them is going to be helpful. So our next 3 points will go over here in the Warlock tree so we can get Brilliance, and then we're going to go back out into the Swashbuckler tree. I think, at least up in the tree long enough. Well, because I'd really like to get low blow. Like, having that stun is pretty huge. But I also would very much like to get the Stalwart Defense worked in as well. That would involve taking our 3rd fighter level. But then we also have, we get 15 PR MMR, right? 5 here, 15 here. So yeah, we can boost our MMR quite a bit. I also like the idea of boosting our saving throws. So that's the main reason why we take Stalwart Defender. I don't know if we're going to have enough wiggle room to get up to... One of these has bonus hit points when you're in stance. I think it's this one, right? The greater...
Saves? You?
Hey, it doesn't matter what the saves are going to be. I'm going to roll a 1 and fail them. That's not the point.
That's me. That's not you.
It is me. But no, I'd like to get up to Tenacious Defense if we can find 10 points in the tree. I don't know. Our points are very tight on this build. Plus, I would not be opposed to going a little bit deeper in the Knife Fighter tree. You can pick up a lot of MMR and PRR pretty easily in this tree as well. So the question, and sprint boost, or haste boost, I mean. So like 6 of one, half a dozen of another. So we'll just have to play it by ear. If I can make all this stuff work, then that'll be great, because I want to get the insta kill. So we're talking 31 points in the tree over here in the swashbuckler tree. We're gonna have 21 points in the enlightened spirit, right? So that's 52. So it's gonna get real tight if we put 11 into 11 into the stalwart defender. That's only going to leave us with like 8 or 9 points to finish up our knife fighter tree. So we may not be able to make everything that we want, but I don't know. I do really like this build. It feels extremely solid. We're now 45 and 46 on MMR and PRR at level 9. So I feel like we literally can just pretty much go stand someplace in a Reaper quest and not have to worry about it. Like it feels very good. Alright, kids, boys and girls, cats and dogs, children of all ages, I think we're going to get out of here tonight. I believe Voodoo is on, so we'll probably just raid Voodoo. Oh, maybe not. Rain is on. We haven't raided Rain in ages. So we'll raid her. Yeah, Voodoo's got his, just shows me his AFK break screen, so we're gonna raid Rain because it's been a while. All right, as always, everybody, let me throw some generic stuff here in the box in case you're not already. I think I need to reset my. I have to reset the doodad. Never mind. Please go over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/SamusGarobo, and hit the subscribe button over there. After doing DDoCast, we actually picked up quite a few people this weekend, but we still haven't quite crossed the 300 subscribers on YouTube yet. Obviously, we're trying to get to 1,000, but we got to get to 300 first. So if you're not already subscribed on YouTube, please consider jumping over there and helping us out. Also, if you enjoyed the stream and the discussion, please consider jumping over to patreon.com/Samus, kicking us $1 or $2. That's a great way to support the stream for literally pennies a day. Everybody, peace, much love, and we'll see you guys in a few hours. Toodles.